my, oh my. Live from New York and Vermont and Florida, it's Coffee with Lavender with Lavender Lady Diana Clarion. How the hell are you? And my co-pilot, the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful, bionic dance, Kate Farr. Hello, my dearest love. How are you today?
I'm all right, I suppose. It's been a weird last couple of days, I guess, but that's pretty normal. So, no, I'm doing all right. It's just a little humid here.
Sure. Yeah, tell me. Oh, I got the weather a little closer to yours over here. Oh, we're only 350 miles apart.
Only.
Only. We could walk it easily. And we also have the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Mage Gray Wolf. Hello, my love. How are ya?
Yeah, not doing too bad. Wasn't feeling that great yesterday. I had a headache, but
Oh, my.
it came on like
Not
later
good.
in the day. So it's like I laid down and I woke up with a headache.
Eek.
So
I know exactly what that's like, honestly.
But Molly was happy. I laid down on the couch to try and get rid of the headache, and she got to sleep on my feet.
Okay, then. Nice and warm there?
Yes.
Okay, then.
I've never been able to fall asleep in a car and feel good afterward. And it's very similar when I fall asleep in the middle of the day. If it's not nighttime, I don't get good rest.
Okay, yeah. I know that feeling. What I cannot do correctly is fall asleep in a chair. I'd like to be able to fall asleep in a chair during dialysis because you're sitting there for 4 hours and what else have you got to do? But yeah, it's unfortunate that you sit there all 4 hours and you're bored as all hell.
Cars tend to put me out. In fact, when I was really little, it was sometimes the only way to get me to go to sleep.
Man, I hear that so many times where people are like, yeah, I'm putting my kid in the car because little brat won't go to bed.
Yeah,
Now, the funny thing
That's me.
is like I've been driving all over Vermont with my dad, and well, he falls asleep in the car, so I have to do all the driving.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Fogarty, how you doing, sweetie?
One place we drove actually recently was to pick up that free weed I've been talking about.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, it was well, let's put it this way. I have these two, mason jars full of different strains, plus a thing of canna butter.
Okay.
So, now I won't say street value because you don't buy it on the street anymore, but at a dispensary in Vermont, this is roughly $3,000 worth of weed. And
Damn.
it was 100% free.
I've got to look into grass here because it's legal here. And I know from past experience that it does me well for pain.
Oh man, it doesn't do that for me. If anything, it enhances every physical sensation. It's crazy. Mind you, I don't know if that's a strain thing because I tend to prefer indica, but it could also be like an ADHD or autism thing because man, some of the reactions I have are completely opposite. The caffeine knocks me out, that kind of thing.
That might
Yes,
be the ADHD.
my ex-wife was like that. She was backwards.
Yeah, that might be the ADHD thing since the indica is supposed to be one that's good for pain.
Yeah. Now, mind you, I'm usually not in pain, but it's like if I'm lying on a surface that's even a little bit rough, I feel everything. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're apparently having the opposite effect of what the normal is.
It's amazing how few doctors are willing to listen to that. It's like, no, dude, this is, I know me. I've had this happen. They're like, oh, I know better than you. I'm a doctor. I'm like, I have experience with me and my own personal body self. You know,
Yeah, you've got what, 47 years worth of experience with that, which the doctor does not have.
something like that.
Yeah, I run into that with pain, where they just don't believe that it's that bad.
Yeah. Well, what's weird, like, okay, when I would go into the emergency room in San Diego, it was pretty frequently when I'd actually genuinely hurt myself, including the time when I broke my wrist in 3 places. And like the X-ray techs said, they missed it the first time around. When they X-rayed my wrist again, they were like, "Oh yeah, broken in 3 places." I was like, "What the fuck? All you guys did was send me home with a wrist brace and some Tylenol." You know, but it's and then the same thing when I hurt myself at motorcycle safety school, ironic, as that is. But it always seemed like they were looking at me like I was trying to scam drugs. Like I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
get something, narcotic, and I was like, dude, like there were times I would go in and I'd be like, this does not hurt. I'm not asking for pain relief. I just want to make sure that something isn't happening that shouldn't,
It's,
and they still looked at me like I was going to try to get Vicodin or something. I was like, dude, no, I don't even want freaking aspirin or Tylenol. Just tell me what's wrong.
yeah, my GP in Pittsburgh would frown upon the medical profession because he saw them as immediately assuming you're scamming for drugs, and he knew that we weren't on the most part.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Well, I've obviously, when I moved back to Vermont, I had to find a new doctor. It took me a year to find one. The first one I found, she left the practice after my second visit. And then the next one I found, I signed up, I got an appointment, everything, and she left before I even saw her. So then I found another doctor at a completely other facility, and she was like, "Yeah, screw those bitches." And she turned out to be one of the nicest, most helpful and empathetic doctors I've had. So, I'm happy now, but it was just a trial finding her.
Okay, then. Yeah, I've got a name given to me. I've got to make an appointment with him, and I'll get around to it. I know I've been here, 3 weeks already, and I haven't done that stuff yet.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, I've been here 3 weeks and I hate it already.
I'm not sure you've ever been happy anywhere.
I don't know that I have. I don't know that I've been happy anywhere. Well, no, I can say there's one place I've been happy. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Seattle. It's not the Seattle that I spent 20 plus years in. Not anymore.
Right.
And I miss what it was. I really do. Because honestly, it took me a while to really find myself in Seattle, like to really find my place. But once I did, oh my gosh, it's like at
Hey,
least a
purple.
second home. I mean, seriously, as much as this right here in Vermont is home, Seattle was also home. So, yeah.
Hey, purple.
How you doing?
Yes, yes, yes. I
Well,
know the
those-
feeling because I never thought I would hear myself say it, but Pittsburgh is home. I love Pittsburgh. I do.
That's weird because you kept saying how much you hated it.
Yeah, you always hate the one you love, right?
No.
I wouldn't say that. Maybe the one you love always hates you, but that's different because that means
Well,
it ain't
that's not
mutual.
unknown to me.
But I mean, seriously, if Seattle's weather had been compatible with me or vice versa, I'd still be living there despite the complete culture shift.
Yeah. If I could live by myself and take care of myself well enough, I'd still be in Pittsburgh, believe you me.
Really? Because you don't mind living near the Stillers?
Well, that's one bad thing about the place, but I
And what was
don't.
that other one? There was a like district or town or something where people pronounced it funky. Versailles, that was it. Versailles.
Oh, where I used to live, for sales. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
you
don't get
see
me
it
wrong.
written
There are
down and it's
things in
North Versailles.
Vermont. There are ways of pronouncing things in Vermont that kind of piss me off a little bit. Like, I kind of wanted to smack people I knew when they'd say, "Oh yeah, park the car in the garage."
Oh
Yes,
no.
I agree. Purple. Pittsburgh and Diana seemed like an abusive relationship.
Hmm.
I don't know.
And like, it's weird. I had someone accuse me of saying mirrors like mirrors, but that used to piss me off with other people. I am more distinct when I say that word than they are. You know, it's like, wow, you're accusing me of stuff that other people do so much worse. Wow.
No, I even now find myself trying to work out plans to go back.
Stop that.
Yeah,
I'd like
you were not
to.
doing well there.
I'd like to make my YouTube make me a fortune, so I could go back and hire a live-in aide, 24/7. Buy a double house. I live on one half. The aide lives on the other.
Then you'll be all lonely and complain about how you don't have any friends and
At least now you have Amiga Nuts. You are hanging out with Amiga Nuts, right?
A little bit.
Well, there you go.
I
Having
mean,
even a tiny
around
scrap
here,
of social interaction is always a good thing. Hell, I just had my second session in a new D&D group, and that's kind of cool.
around
Uh-oh.
she froze.
Yeah.
around here, everybody pretty much. Around here, everybody pretty much keeps to themselves.
Hmm. Well, it's a little different in Vermont. I mean,
There's Amiga. There's Linda.
I've met a lot of strangers just, going on the bike path. People are friendly here.
Yeah, well, I was out doing all that grocery shopping the other day. I also checked out a dog park. Might take Molly to that late at some point.
I didn't think you could park a dog. I thought they'd just
Okay.
run out of the space.
No, they have nice enclosed space, so they can go there and park.
That's not what I meant, but anyway.
Oh my.
You're
Yeah,
always
it's
chomping all over my humor over here. Anyway.
the cashiers at the various stores.
You're breaking up.
Big time.
Okay, I'm back. Am I back for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Except now you're frozen again. Is it possible you're too far from your Wi-Fi?
It is. The Wi-Fi is set up weirdly here, and I'm in a weird corner of the house.
It always seems to me like Wi-Fi. There's got to be a joke in there somewhere, like back in medieval times, a fie upon you, sir. So it's like Wi-Fi.
Maybe some kind of booster in your room to help boost the signal.
Well, I'm allegedly not staying in this room forever. Allegedly, I'm moving to a space downstairs, which may be better on the system. It may not be better. I don't know. I may end up wired, which I would not complain about.
Wired's good.
Yeah.
Most of my system is wired, actually. On my PCs, those are wired.
Yeah, sometimes being wired is good unless you really want to go to sleep and shouldn't have had all that coffee.
Yes, kittiness. There's a kitty over here looking at me. You're looking at me like you want something.
It's here, Ray. It's looking at me.
I got my dogs here at my foot.
I got me Xander on my lap. Isn't that right, Zandy Poo?
Oh, who's here? Oh, look.
What have we got, Mom? Oh, no, it's purple.
Purple. Hello, dear. How are you?
Yeah, we know Purple was there. Hello.
You said something on Twitter last night just before.
Uh-oh.
Breaking up again.
Set up a GoFundMe, huh, dear? Oh, my.
I didn't quite get that.
You doing okay after the you doing okay after the auto mishap?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, like I
looks
said, I
we may
wasn't
have to
hurt.
set up a
It just
GoFundMe, huh?
messed up my van.
Yeah.
Now it's a question of trying to find, who around here does reputable work without scamming me.
Yeah. See if we can get you a fundraiser, maybe if you need it.
My
Yeah,
dad
that
was
would be
telling me a
good
story
thing.
about someone whose car, their Prius, was totaled by a moose. It's just the picture you posted, Purple, reminded me of it because, like, the top and the front of your vehicle there was so smashed in. That's kind of the way it was described.
Was the moose in a room?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, the van just shows you about, the way they design crumple zones in vehicles now. Because it didn't even crack the windshield.
Oh, that's good.
Oh.
You said you were able to drive it to a gas station too, right?
Yeah, I was able to drive it about 2 miles until it started overheating because the radiator was crushed.
Okay.
Okay. So it might be repairable.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm thinking that, the engines, the reason my brother picked that van is the engines in those things just have a reputation for going on over 250,000 miles. So this one's not even halfway.
All right.
Let's see how long before Twitter decides I've seen enough.
Oh, geez, I'm so sick of that. Like, it's been, what, maybe a day, and I'm already sick of it.
Yeah, it was only rolled out yesterday.
Elon Musk is such a schmuck.
Yep. I've noticed his response to the backlash has been to act like a 12-year-old 4chan shit poster.
Well, that seems to be his
You give him
usual
that
mode
much
for
credit?
some reason. Like, seriously, almost everything he posts seems to be like a petulant child.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you criticized me. Wah! That kind of thing. A lot of, I forget what it was, but wasn't he like threatening to delete anybody's post if they brought up certain topics? Well, not just their post, their account.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Whatever arbitrary whim crosses the windmills of his brain.
He thinks he's God or something. I don't know.
Are we discussing Musk or Trump over here?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Those two are peas in a pod.
Almost.
I wish we could put them in a pod and shoot them into the moon. Or the sun.
Sun works.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shipped them into the sun, they would burn up. On the moon, they would just sit there in pieces.
Well,
Depends
it's a
on
whole
how
lot
hard you
cheaper.
launched it.
It's a whole lot cheaper to just put them in a pod and drop them into the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to drink that water eventually.
Hey, we already have to drink billionaire water.
Well, Musk wanted to go to Mars. He goes just send them there.
Well, I love this. I saw like a meme. It's one of those ones with the weird, sort of not quite a stick figure that's shaped like a capsule, poking something with a stick. And it was poking at Trump, saying, "Go on, visit the Titanic."
One of those.
I think someone also said, "Oh yeah, Musk is controlling Twitter with a Logitech gaming pad."
Oh, jeez.
That would be believable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I sometimes think, and I've already got the answer of, who would do it and everything, but it would be so nice if we could all get together and decide what we want in a platform, and then we go ahead and build it.
Yep.
Well, it should be sturdy enough to allow spacecraft landing.
Yes.
That's a platform we should. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean, the weird thing is like a lot of platforms were really great until somebody bought it and fucked it up.
I've noticed that.
That's what happens with a lot of stuff on the internet in general. A lot of websites went that way too.
Well, I mean, YouTube was so good when you could post video responses, like you could have debates with people that way, when you would still get notifications of every reply. I've quote unquote lost so many debates because I didn't know there was a new reply. And so they were like, oh, running away, eh? And the 5-star rating system was also, I barely rate videos anymore because either they're absolutely amazing or absolutely terrible, or I don't click one of the thumbs.
Yeah.
It's just such a pain in the ass. And Google bought it and ripped out almost every feature I cared about.
I haven't liked this recent update of only having 3 videos across per line on the subscription feed. Well, when I'm looking at the subscription feed, I see 1, 2, 3 videos, and then it's like much more magnified. Used to have about 5 or 6 across.
Oh, I think we're using different subscription pages. Mine looks like this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you can set it for whatever they call it, list or gallery, something like that.
Yeah, I have it set to grid.
I very prefer the list version. If nothing else, I'm a little more certain about the chronological order of the videos.
I wouldn't be. They change.
Okay.
No, seriously, I've had videos that when I refresh my list, they change their positions in the list.
I haven't had that happen. Don't know what to tell you. Oh, well, okay. I've had that happen if one of the videos was upcoming. Where it's like, oh, once it's released, it's now at the top of the list.
No, I've had ones. Usually it's like when a live stream's concluded, it'll show on the list immediately. And then like 5 or 6 hours later, it'll jump to the top of the list again like it was just posted.
Oh.
I can think of one reason that might potentially happen, but it would only happen with live streams, is YouTube still does some post-processing after a video is uploaded or completed. And so a live stream may be like where it is on the list, but then when it's over and YouTube goes, okay, I've put this in like my format that I like, then it bumps back up to the top of the list as a finished video. That's the only way I could see that happening, and I have no guarantees that that's the way it really goes.
Yeah, I was guessing that was probably what was going on.
Yeah. So I started watching this TV show, Netflix original show called FUBAR. And it's Arnold Schwarzenegger is in the CIA and he's trying like hell to retire. But on his last mission, he discovers his daughter is also in the CIA and he had no idea. And she didn't know either. And all of a sudden they're forced to be on missions together and they don't like it because, daddy-daughter dynamics.
She didn't know she was in the CIA?
No, he didn't. She didn't know he was, and he didn't know she was. And so they find out accidentally. And like it I mean, it's not a wacky comedy like I thought it was going to be. It's more of an action show with some comedy. But once you get into it, it's not bad. There's a lot of shows like that, actually, that I've started where I expected one thing and hated it. And then I went back and gave it another go, knowing what to expect and thought it was great. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is the first one to come to mind. I did not know what that show was supposed to be. But when I gave it a second viewing, I was like, oh, okay.
All right. But is it Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I really don't know. And I assume that the title is a reference to something like a song or something.
Oh, my. Next week, I'm supposed to go back to Pittsburgh and get what remains of my possessions. I hope they're still there.
Ever seen the Santa Clarita Diet?
Heard of it, know nothing else about it.
It's a comedy zombie series.
Oh, that. Okay. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if yet is appropriate because I don't know that I will. But I am looking for new things to watch. I mean, now that the pandemic is about as over as it's probably going to get, I need to stop watching comfort shows over and over. It's why I'm watching Fubar. It's also why I watched Happy. Have you seen Happy?
Still haven't seen Happy. I
that is
really
the
gotta get.
fucked
Yeah, I really
up
gotta get to
show.
that.
It is so bloody, that show. I mean, seriously, it is brutal, but it's also hilarious.
Yeah, I gotta get around to that. It sounds like it's something I'd enjoy.
Yeah. It's like if you liked Kick-Ass, you'll like Happy.
Okay, I'll probably like it then. What was the one that was?
I don't know. I may actually get a streaming service.
Well, I'd highly recommend it.
Nick?
I said I'd highly recommend it.
Oh, I got you.
All right, I gotta stop like randomly switching into accents like that. I don't know why I'd do it. It might be an autism thing. I don't know.
What was that
But
series?
allegedly, WQED has a streaming service, and if I could get their Saturday morning programming, I'd be all over it.
You know, it wouldn't kill you to enjoy some narrative fiction.
Yeah.
Diana, one thing you could check into. Amazon has a thing that you can get their Prime service for half price if you're getting any kind of like social assistance. So if you're qualified for food stamps, you can get Amazon Prime for half price, and you can get all their video stuff.
Yeah, there's
Well,
some
I
good
don't
stuff
know
in there.
anymore. I have to see if I still am qualified for food stamps.
Yeah, I'm not sure, what's going to go for you in New York there.
Yeah.
Although, as long as you still got your card, you can still use up the stuff you got from Pennsylvania real fast before they catch on.
I lost my card, and I tried getting the card replaced, and that didn't work out too well. So I don't know. I may have lost $2,000 worth of food.
Another series you can check out, I think it's still on Netflix, is Daybreak. It's only one season though.
Sounds like a vampire thing.
It's a post-apocalyptic thing, but it's a comedy, and it has Matt Broderick as the principal.
Well, maybe I'll give it a look. I do enjoy the post-apocalypse genre, but generally speaking, I prefer if it's sort of Road Warrior-esque. Have you seen Turbo Kid?
I'm trying to remember if I've seen that or not.
You'd remember. It's kind of like, imagine if the Road Warrior took place in rural Canada, and it's also a comedy. I was really looking forward to it, and I did enjoy it. because not only is it a post-apocalypse genre movie, but it's also very 80s themed. So, I mean, it was like someone made this movie just for me. The only thing I could have asked for is that it was taken seriously and not a comedy. I would have preferred that.
Well, the basic premise of Daybreak is all the teenagers and younger who basically didn't turn into zombie-like creatures or mutants. And they're living their life in sort of like a summer vacation in post-apocalyptic world, with all the jocks becoming like barbarians and shit. And
Becoming, that would actually take some transformation.
well, they have. I'm looking at the preview here. It looks like your road warrior, barbarian types. They all became. Then you have the little girl who before the thing was selling drugs at the high school.
Yeah. I don't know. I really do need to find more new things to watch. But every time I scroll through, and not just on one streaming service, every time I scroll through the sci-fi section, it's always either Earth is doomed, or someone was on like an extraterrestrial colony and that one's doomed, so they have to go back to Earth, or something. It's always like miserable. Everything is bad and everything's falling apart. And I understand that sort of thing tends to become popular when that's what's happening in the world. But I'll be honest, when the world is turning to shit, what I want is an escape from reality. I want to see like more upbeat sci-fi. Thank you very much indeed. The Orville was like an oasis in an ocean of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Ah, well. Kind of wish that the Orville and the Big Bang Theory had overlapped each other, because I would have loved to have seen them do like Orville jokes, see whether or not Sheldon would have liked it or hated it, that kind of thing. Oh, well, what you gonna do?
Yeah,
Oh, I got around to watching all 3 hours and 15 some minutes worth of Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh, how was it?
Well, it wasn't bad. It was not like, Fern Gully in space like the first one. And I thought that it had one real problem with it, and that's that they did the thing where it's like, ooh, look how pretty everything is. We're just going to show you how pretty it is for several minutes on end. It was the same problem I have with musicals, where I'm like, could you just get back to the plot, please?
Speaking about musicals, I watched one called The Return of Captain Invincible. It's an '80s one.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
And they're kind of spoofing some of the old time Superman stuff, some of the kind of like James Bond type villain and types, and it wasn't bad for a musical.
Well, still, I felt Avatar: The Way of Water really needed to rein in the showing off the CGI. I mean, it was very pretty. It really was. But I wanted the plot to move forward. And
that's been the criticism I've heard from a lot of people who's reviewed that movie.
Yeah. But one thing that was very interesting was watching Sigourney Weaver play an alien child. Because it was clearly her. You could see her face in the CGI model. You could hear her voice. It was still obviously a kid, the way she played it.
Yeah, it was.
But I mean, it was weird. Like, that's Sigourney Weaver, but that's not Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, it was, from my understanding, it was like a Sigourney Weaver's character reincarnated in a little kid or something.
Not exactly. Like, there was a birth from her avatar that was still in one of the like holding pods. But and no one knows who the father is. I don't think there was a father. I think actually when they tried to transfer her human consciousness into her avatar body, like they did with Jake Sully, I think Awa impregnated somehow the avatar before they put it back into the holding tank. And I think that's how the kid, whose name I totally don't remember, was something like Tootie or Kitty or something weird. How the kid was born was through AWA. That's my guess.
Oh, okay.
Because they left it very open.
So the return of Captain Invincible had Christopher Lee playing this Bond-esque villain called Mr. Midnight.
Yeah, well, they try to put the catchy songs in. Blogger Schmo's asking why they do it in kids' films. You know, because if they can get the tunes stuck in their head, they'll get the kids to rewatch the thing over and over and over until the parents blow up the TV.
Let's watch this for the millionth time.
I'm sure my parents got sick and tired of how often I watch certain kinds of movies. Like we do not share the same taste in movies and stuff. Like my parents would often sit me down in front of Masterpiece Theater and I wanted to hurt them, but they probably didn't much care for Star Wars over and over.
Well, don't worry, we only have 12 hours of Baby Shark.
Baby Shark. I don't know that one.
It's a really terrible music video.
Yeah.
Mm.
One time sitting in the pharmacy waiting for them to fill my prescription, there was a lady there and her little girl who was like, maybe 3 or 4 years old was playing with her tablets. So yeah, I got to sit there and listen to Baby Shark on nonstop loop for over half an hour.
There was a joke that Baby Shark was the reason for the pandemic.
Diana, you fading off on us?
No, I'm just sitting here.
Okay. How's Sylvia adapting?
I don't know the first thing about Baby Shark.
Yeah, me neither, actually.
How's Sylvia adapting to the move?
She's adapted much better than I have so far. She's right at home here.
Yeah, good.
Well, I mean, Xander and Columbia took a little bit of adjusting, but once they did, they love it here. I mean, it's bigger than my old place. That helps. But apparently before I showed back up, Xander was spending a lot of time like behind the refrigerator or the washer.
Okay.
Molly's sleeping at my feet right now. Interesting enough.
Excuse me, it's teeny here. And it doesn't look to be much bigger in the place to which I will be moving. But I don't know, at least hopefully it'll be my space.
Oh, MySpace. You might as well be back on America Online.
Who knows? Maybe MySpace will get a chance to come back, seeing as Elon wants to kill Twitter.
So, Diana, promise me you'll get out and meet people and make friends when you have your own place. Promise me that.
Well, I'm looking forward to going back to Pittsburgh to get the rest of my stuff. My bicycle will be among it. And I want to get on the bicycle and bicycle my way around Long Island and then maybe meet a few people.
So you want to ride your bicycle, you want to ride your bike?
Yeah.
Yeah. That D&D group I joined, it's actually like I got the invite through an old high school buddy. And like, making friends and getting out more is actually really great. Like it helps your mood tremendously.
I know the cashiers at the various stores I've visited have been friendly. So maybe I start there and work my way up.
Yeah. I don't know, like I have actually had to make a few choices. I could have been here today. I could have gone to that buffer sorting group.
Okay.
Buffer sorting?
Or you get padded weapons and you beat on each other.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was called LARPing.
No, well, see, that's the thing is there's so many different flavors of it. I mean, between just regular straight up buffer swords and amp guard and various LARPs, and don't get me started on the SCA. You know, I mean, it's just there's so many to choose from. This one is mostly just straight up combat. There's no LARPing.
So it's just here's a foam bat, go beat the crap out of each other.
Well, I mean, yes and no, because there are so many different kinds of weapons. The archery is kind of awkward because you have to put this like gigantic foam ball on the end of the arrow. But yeah, I mean, there's like claymores and battle axes and pole arms and all kinds of stuff that you can use. All of them, you know, covered in foam. It's not just here's a padded sword. Plus, there's different kinds of armor as well. If you put on armor, you can take multiple hits to a like a limb or something without having to declare it useless. And there's all kinds of rules like that. I mean, hell, sometimes if you get whacked on one leg, you have to go down on your knees. And like it's usually impossible to like survive after that's happened. But I did turtle up with my shield once, and it was like, okay, and I just patted myself on the head, which is signifying death. You know, I lose. There's no way I can manage this. You know.
I really need a better connection.
Well, hopefully, once you get
I'm hoping I can get a better connection in that new room area.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, you realize you're right now covered up by your name there. The lavender pincushion is hiding your head, and all we can see is a knee.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to come out from under the sign.
Well, you just have to tip your camera down a bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
Shipatayake. Oh my. I'm just too comfortable here to get up and move the camera.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know. Comfort is highly overrated. Actually, I know some people who truly believe that, where they're like, yeah, the only way for me to be, I don't know, creative or active or whatever is to make me uncomfortable. I've heard that from people, and I don't get it.
Oh my. Oh, who do we have here today? If we can look in the magic mirror, I see Bloggerty and I see alias fake name. And
who is this Perplay Rahemas Wihit Orangi?
No idea. No idea.
Oh, hey, TV Tube. Me. Hi. There.
Hello.
Hey, TB.
TV. Hi, sweetie.
Oh. Okay, Xander, that's fine if you want to do that, but no claws. He like grabbed hold of my thumb and dragged my hand in so he could lick my wrist. He does that.
Yep, I've had cats do that.
And he doesn't want to let it go. The only way to get rid of my thumb from his paw there is to be scratched or bitten. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's one of the problems with losing the van now. I had promised Sammy I was going to get him a companion already.
Oh my, okay.
Costs just keep coming up on you, huh?
Yeah, well, let's say I had been planning to go down to the Humane Society this week.
Yeah, I've been thinking at taking in another kitten.
Interesting enough, when I was getting Molly, there was a lady behind me who was actually wanted to look at her about getting as a companion for her elderly little dog. I'm not sure how that would have worked out for Molly. I mean, she's good with other dogs, but she's very Velcro dog.
I think if I was going to get a companion, it'd be more like Inara. No, huh? All right.
Yeah, well, Sammy's very active for his age, but I wouldn't want to get a kitten. First of all, there's just too much you got to train and teach them.
Yeah, that's another thing. Molly is very super playful at times, and she was looking at getting a companion for her elderly dog.
Yeah, but I don't know if Sammy would want to put up with a kitten, so
I've had luck with kittens. I don't know. They seem to have trained themselves.
Yeah, Xander was pretty easy. I just had to teach him to not pee on my clothing or my bed.
uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten him to stop torturing Columbia, but I do wonder about like the right configuration of cats, like the right demographic of cats to get. Because I was always told that an older female would prefer a younger male, but Columbia sure as hell doesn't, and Kitty didn't when we got Rover. So I wonder, like, when Xander is older, and I hate to say it, Columbia will probably die in the next couple of years. I hate thinking about that. But if I get another cat, would I get like another male, another female? Would Xander react better to a kitten than Columbia did? I don't know.
Yeah,
Because it seems like the advice I was given was wrong.
Probably.
I've been wondering the same thing, and I think the best thing's just going to be to get Sammy another male that's probably similar age.
Maybe another female might be good for with the. But I remember I had at one point 3 cats. That's in here. Well, technically one was my mom's, but I had 2 cats. One was male, one was female, and then my mom got another female. And the 2 females were about a year or 2 apart.
Well, and I don't have like real strict standards. I mean, if I get one that doesn't bully Sammy and doesn't chew on the cables, pretty much everything else is negotiable.
Okay.
I'm not even going to get that upset if they're destroying the furniture, really.
Yeah, well, I don't have that much furniture to destroy. I never did. So,
Yeah, well, about all I've got is my recliner.
okay.
It's rumored I have a desk chair over there, but I don't use it.
I need to get another desk chair because the one you guys got me is pretty well destroyed.
I've been patching up my desk chair and kind of not looking forward to having to find a replacement. And seeing as this was my dad's chair, and this one was pretty expensive.
Yeah, actually, the desk chair is like the most expensive piece of furniture I got because generally I buy used stuff anyway. That was the first thing I had to buy new and actually spend $100 for that chair.
Well, the one I'm sitting in right now, when it was first purchased, was over $1,000.
Not actually sure. Oh, right. The one I'm sitting in now is like 200 something, if that. It's not a bad chair, but it really doesn't have enough lower back support. None of the chairs I've owned have enough lower back support.
Most I've paid for a piece of furniture is $1,000, and that's for the sofa bed I have.
Yeah, my dad's reasoning was he was going to be spending most of his time in this chair, so he wanted something that would be comfortable. So he went all out on spending.
Well, I've always been a big one at fixing things up. And I've even kind of got the eye that at some point I'm probably going to reupholster these recliners myself.
So you can imagine I've been doing all I can to patch this one up.
I'm pretty bad at like the arts and crafts maintenance stuff. I use a computer for my art for a reason. There's a save and undo button. So, that's kind of a thing.
Well, after my ex pushed me out, I had no budget at all. So I just patrolled the alleys, and everything I had in that apartment I built out of scrap wood I found in the alleys.
So should I take advantage of Steam's summer sale and buy Tropico 6 for about $16?
I know the feeling. I'm kind of debating on whether I want to spend some money on Steam as well.
I mean, there's a lot of games that I still haven't played, but there's a lot of games that look like they could be fun. And
yeah, I know. I mean the exact same boat with that. I was looking at that just last night before I went to bed.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of other games that aren't on sale that I really wish would be. But like, I would probably buy that, what is it called, Starfield game if it was cheap. I think it's Bethesda, but I'm not sure. It's I don't know. It looks interesting. It has that sort of Fallout, what you call it, Skyrim sort of vibe, but it's out in space instead.
It's bringing about. I got Fallout 4 on my list for $6.59.
Thing is, they're selling Starfield for $70 frickin' dollars. So, and it's not on sale, so I'm not buying that.
It's got. Don't know what this Galaxy Squad is, but it's only 99 cents.
Galaxy Squad. I mean, that sounds like it could be my kind of game.
I don't know what this is about, really.
Galaxy Squad. Oh, I think I had the. Wait, I own that. I just haven't played it yet.
It's one of the ones you already own. I probably got it off of your list.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If this is the game I'm thinking of, it's kind of. Yeah. I think this might be the game where they ripped all of the game mechanics out of XCOM 2 and just reskinned everything. I mean, it wasn't bad if it is the game I'm thinking of, but it wasn't great.
Got some freebie stuff here as well. Path of Exile. From my understanding, that's basically a Diablo ripoff.
There's this retrograde arena thing that looks interesting, but it's multiplayer, and I usually get kind of irritated with people playing multiplayer because it's all those 13-year-old 4chan kids who scream insults and expletives at you constantly. And it's like, I don't need the aggravation.
Yeah, I don't like to play games with just strangers online.
I suppose
the only multiplayer games I play, I just play with Sloth Girl and my brother.
I suppose I could have a little bit of fun with Goat Simulator.
Goat Simulator?
Yeah, that is an insane game. There isn't much plot involved, but it gets weird.
So this Pope Simulator game that I've been wanting to try just to see how much I could fuck things up it's still like, it used to say, oh yeah, we'll release this in 2023 or something, or 2022. I forget what the year was, but now it just says planned release date to be announced. I'm like, damn it. I really wanted to see if I could fuck things up, like as the Pope, just sort of make everyone, Satanists or something. Oh, well. Because, I mean, think about it. If there was a Pope who really didn't like the religion but got made Pope anyway, how much could they fuck things up, I wonder?
Well, Pope Innocent III closed all the churches in England for 6 years.
Should have kept them closed.
Yeah, I was having a dispute with the king about who should be the next Archbishop of Canterbury, so he shut down all public services.
Well, I have heard of a Yandere simulator.
A what?
Yandere simulator.
Yeah, I don't know what Yandere is.
It's a Japanese archetype character, basically.
I
love you so much, I will kill everybody around and to have you.
Here.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, basically a psychopath character.
Okay, so it's like my obsessive ex-girlfriend thing?
Yeah, except she'll kill everybody around you to be with you, even if it means killing you as well.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, fortunately, I haven't encountered that, like in real life, I mean. But, well, actually, it's been a while since I've heard from Stalker Boy. I wonder if the police actually told him to knock it off like they said they would.
And there is a game where you basically play as that character.
I haven't played a shooter in so long, but I'm not sure I want to. I've been really enjoying the like sandbox games, the city builders, colony builders. I wanted to like Surviving Mars so much more than I did, but the AI for the drones that are supposed to maintain everything is so freaking stupid that your colony just dies a miserable death because they won't repair anything like you tell them to.
Castle Flipper, there's one that might get. It's only
Sloth
$1.
Girl's rather into the City Skylines games, and they keep coming out with new skins and new expansions all the time.
I've played that. It's kind of fun.
Apparently, the Castle Flipper is you build a castle, internal, outside, inside, and then I guess you sell it.
Oh, look, Hogwarts Legacy.
Even without the whole issues with JK, I don't think I'd be really interested in that.
Well, everything I've heard about it is that it takes the anti-Semitism and cranks it up to 11.
Yeah.
Even with all that, even if we took all that out, I still don't think I'd be particularly interested.
Yeah, honestly, even the last Harry Potter book took such a turn from what the plot had been that I lost interest in everything to do with that.
I definitely would have taken things in some different directions with that last book.
I don't know. It's like, I mean, I'm not so much into the whole magic thing anyway. I mean, I like it, but the problem that I had was I was like, well, what if I were to look for a Harry Potter in space? But then I realized that's just Ender's Game.
I do like the magic, high fantasy kind of theme stuff.
Well, you know me, I'm more focused on the spaceships and aliens and robots and laser gun stuff. I love me some space opera.
I suppose I could try and go more old school with Caesar 3 and 4.
Oh, look, you're back.
We're back.
And better than ever.
Kitchen. Is this closer to the Wi-Fi router then?
Say again, sweetie.
Is the kitchen closer to the Wi-Fi signal then?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no, maybe I'll just grab some of these. Like only $1. How long is the sale lasting for?
I actually don't know that.
Until 5 minutes before you place your order.
It says here July 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Okay. Yeah. Gives me some time to think about it.
Who goes by Pacific time?
I don't see the explore your queue thing anymore. Oh, there it is, Discovery Queue. All right, they just didn't have it like front and center on the main page like they did.
What's this Homeworld Remastered? I've got it on my list.
Oh, weird. This Aliens game isn't a first-person shooter?
So you're only supposed to shoot the second person, you see?
Probably. Thing is, like, the Aliens franchise went all to hell with number 3. So.
Yeah. There was another movie that they had ideas for that they never made. It was actually supposed to have it where Newt grows up.
Well, I remember they did like a couple of graphic novels about that, where like Hicks, his whole face is scarred and he's very bitter because it was in the 90s.
That was actually taken from the unused script.
The Aliens versus Predator graphic novel was really good, but when they made it into a movie, they took out almost everything that was appealing about it.
Yeah, the Alien Resurrection thing wasn't that. I don't think was that bad.
Ugh. I don't know. Maybe it's just because Aliens was the first one I saw, but I kind of needed the James Cameron vibe.
Yeah, it didn't have that vibe. That's true. Then again, considering what he went and did with Prometheus.
Well, that wasn't him. That wasn't him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, that was like, oh, I forget. I think it was like Ridley Scott or something.
Oh, yeah, it was Ridley Scott, yeah.
Ridley Scott. Yeah, he, yeah. But I don't know. I just it's hard to get into anything else. Although that Aliens game did sort of look like it was all Colonial Marines, so maybe it'd be worth it.
That's another thing. I'm not sure what style of game I'm really interested in playing right now.
Yeah, me neither.
It's like I want to play. It's like I want to play something. I'm not quite sure what I want to play though.
Well, I should probably just finish out the Mass Effect series. I've played 1 and 2. I might as well play 3 and see what the hell happens. You know, without actually buying anything new.
Yeah, let's see. You got Stubbs the zombie and Rebel Without a Pulse.
Huh.
Apparently, it's a zombie apocalypse game where you play as the zombie. And it's set in like a very comedy kind of themed.
It seems like you would have to be a fast-moving zombie for that to work. I don't like the running zombies. I miss the, shambling forward, arms outstretched, brains. The fast zombies just seem lame.
I don't know. It doesn't look like you're particularly fast. Looks like you're more of a shambler.
Well, that's cool.
But you're basically playing as the zombie though, and looks like it's set in the kind of a cheesy Night of the Living Dead era. Sort of like shoot, the name of the thing just isn't.
So,
what was that one?
Do these Steam badges mean anything?
I don't know.
There's this weird thing where something's worth a number of gems, and I guess you can trade with the other players. I don't get it.
Yeah, I never understood what that part was about, or like how you earn more gems or anything. But I also figured I don't play enough games to really worry about it. I'd never get anywhere.
Well, it really depends on the kind of game, whether or not I have the follow through to finish it, too.
Loggedy's saying there was a zombie game years ago where you take off your own head and throw it at people.
Well, there's a game I was actually kind of enjoying that I should play again because I never finished it, called Headlander, where apparently you've been decapitated and now your head can fly around inside of an astronaut helmet, and you can knock the heads off of other bad guys, land on their neck, and then control the body. It's really screwed up, and the only thing I don't like about it is that it's 70s styled instead of something more me.
That sounds like the King and the Queen of the Moon from The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
I remember seeing that. It's not that similar.
Just the same kind of concept that their heads could operate independently and they could control each other's bodies by landing on them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they definitely have that in common for sure. But Headlander, that's where the similarity ends big time. Let's see. Store page. Let's do that. And I don't know if you guys can even see this because it went completely full screen, but see, nothing at all like that. It's very...
It looks like we're seeing like 3/4 of your screen there.
Oh, it's a little more like Metroid in a way. Here, let me do it that way. Okay, very much a platformer. You can see that color scheme is very 70s.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh,
Looks like this Stubbs the Zombie is set in the 1950s or earlier.
Well, apparently they're coming out with Despicable Me 4 soon, and I'm curious. Well, maybe in 2 years. I'm curious what they're going to do with it, because if you watch the series, you'll notice it starts like moving from decade to decade, where it's like, oh, this one's sort of 50s theme, 60s, 70s themes, and like Despicable Me 3 was 80s themed, and I can't even picture 90s themed Despicable Me. I mean, are they going to go like what, grunge on us? That's going to be interesting.
Actually, maybe it's the 60s because I see disco in it.
So not a fan of disco. It's actually why I loathe the 1970s is disco.
I had considered it the crowning achievement of my generation that we killed disco.
I mean, I'm as far as I'm concerned, there are only two good things, well, maybe three, from the 1970s, and that's Star Wars, me, and maybe Rocky Horror, but that's only good if you see it in the theater at midnight with an audience that gives a damn.
Yeah, I came in at the tail end of the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 70s when I grew up. You didn't miss much.
I could, it's funny because it took me forever to actually figure out what the hell was meant by a leisure suit. Like, I saw them and I was going, but it's just a suit. Where's the leisure? And then I was finally like, oh, so it's a suit you wear when you're not at the office. Okay. Still look dippity. I mean, let's face it, one of the things I hate about the 70s is those collars you could hang glide with.
I was never a big fan of polyester, so.
And, don't get me started on bell bottoms either.
I don't understand how bell bottoms ever became popular when people drove cars that had a stick shift on the floor. That was just an accident waiting to happen.
Well, I mean, let's face it, the world didn't get very safety conscious until like the 90s.
Then we went overboard.
And it's like, hey, look, I'm buckling my child into a 5-point harness. Gee, I remember as a youngin' riding around in the back of a pickup truck that wasn't even covered. I remember driving around on Lake Champlain. Well, I was riding. My dad was driving on the frickin' lake when it was frozen. Can't do that anymore. It doesn't freeze enough. There were people who used to drive across Lake Champlain to get to work instead of going to one of the bridges or using the ferry. Not that you could use the ferry when the lake was frozen, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, they still do that a lot here. Although every year they also drop a few dozen vehicles through the ice.
Dope. Oh, God, not exactly the same, but I saw this video recently on Twitter where, apparently someone set off some fireworks and they didn't go far enough. Like, the fireworks it did not really leave the ground that much and ended up landing in the box of other fireworks that were underneath not an SUV. Well, maybe it wasn't. No, the minivan. That was it. Underneath the minivan. So there was this massive explosion while all these suburbanites ran for their lives. It was hilarious.
Actually, what it looked like, it was the thing didn't get off the ground, and when the sparks got into the box of other fireworks they had, and that set off a whole chain reaction.
Yep. It was kind of crazy pants. Like, I kind of enjoy the pain of others when they've done it to themselves.
Yeah, that's the only time I find other people's pain funny is when it's self-inflicted.
I'm just glad they got the baby out of there.
Well, that was almost the first thing they did. I remember looking and I saw that kid getting picked up by what I assume was the mom.
Yeah.
Wait, almost the first thing they did? They still did something before getting the baby?
Yeah, they did a double take. You know, like they had that moment of realization. That was the first thing they did.
Far as I can tell, basically what they did is they took the stick and stuck it into the ground instead of having like they said something about a shoe. Guess they were using as a
To try and support a bottle rocket or something.
yeah. It was a bottle rocket they were trying to fire off, and the thing didn't leave the ground because they had it stuck in the ground.
Yeah. I remember Seth Andrews was kind of hand wringing about the billionaires in the sub, but I was like, dude, you got to find this one funny. They did it to themselves. I mean, the one dude who like insisted, no, it's safe, apparently was told by many people that it wasn't.
Yeah, I still question what kind of testing they did on that because, shouldn't they have sent it down to the maximum depth, just, full of cameras and sensors to make sure nothing went wrong before they put people in it?
Well, you'd think, but I guess the guy was just way overconfident or something. I don't know.
Apparently,
I mean, what I haven't heard though, I mean, because apparently it like super compressed itself and just collapsed in upon itself. It imploded in like a 20th of a second, and no one has mentioned whether or not there was like this big pocket of billionaire slurry inside of it when they dragged it back up. Were sharks eating it? I mean, what happened?
well, apparently the guy who built the thing wasn't really all that big on safety.
Yeah, I saw some quote from him from an interview that basically he thought people were being overly worried about it.
Given the
Something about that, if you want to be safe, don't get out of bed.
Given the design of that thing, I might be willing to go down a few meters in that sub, but not the depth they went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I can't even imagine like how long they would have had to spend in a decompression chamber coming up.
Well, actually, they shouldn't have had to, in a sub because it contains the pressure.
Yeah.
No, last I heard of the sub, like even then, because they have to do something to the air. They have to have like nitrogen into it or something. If you go down that far.
Well, that's one of the problems I think they had. They didn't do anything like that.
Yeah. Because like I've heard of deep sea divers where they spend like too long down there in like a submersible platform or something, that they spend quite a long time decompressing later.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, like their blood literally boils.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the pressure in the thing would be the same, would remain normal, but.
Well, but to maintain like integrity of the vehicle, they have to change the pressure inside of it.
No, they make it really thick.
Yeah.
Okay, that's contradicting what I remember hearing, but okay.
Well, when they go down in military subs, they don't have to depressurize when they come up.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Well, I mean, how deep do they go, though? I mean, this was going down to the Titanic.
Well, they go down a lot deeper than that one managed to get.
Well, okay, but they're probably also better built.
Yeah, well, that's the point. The sub requires a much thicker hole just to hold all the pressure in.
Yeah, what they went down in is, if it was actually built correctly in the first place, would have only been rated for about 1,000 meters, and they were going down 4,000 plus.
Ugh, man. Yeah. But like the way I look at that is kind of the way I'd look at a Star Trek transporter. I won't be first. I might be second to try it, but I sure as hell won't be first.
Just make sure a fly doesn't get in with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't trust amusement park roller coasters because I don't trust who did the maintenance on it.
There's a great meme I have where it's like, if you get on a roller coaster, bring a bolt with you. And as you're going up, and it makes that clicking sound, turn to someone and go, where do you suppose this came from? It's kind of like, I was hitchhiking, or I picked up a hitchhiker the other day, and asked. He was like, "What? How do you know I'm not a psycho killer or whatever?" And you go, "Well, what are the odds of there being two?" You know.
Then again, so my cousin there running into the 9/11 hijackers. He was in his drug dealer's car.
Hmm. I forget who it was. I think it might have been Rob Lowe or somebody. There was some celebrity who, maybe it was Seth MacFarlane, who got off of the plane that was flown into the World Trade Center, or missed it or something. There was like some celebrity who very narrowly managed to miss being one of the people in 9/11.
Well, of course, there were a couple of stories about that, about famous or semi-famous people who just barely missed being on one of those flights.
Well, I live not too far from the small airport where they learned how to fly the planes.
Yeesh.
So they actually were in my area at one point, and that's where my cousin met him. Apparently, I don't know if they were just hitching a ride from the drug dealer or whatever, but he said he got into the car with his drug dealer, and only one of them talked. The other one is kind of sat there looking very angry all the time.
Well, flying a plane isn't that difficult. Landing a plane, however.
Yeah, but the hijackers were not concerned about learning how to land.
Mm,
That's
Yeah.
what several of their instructors had commented on seems strange.
yeah. Man, imagine living with that, knowing that you had taught the 9/11 hijackers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't want to live with that on my conscience.
It's not much of an airport. It's more like a dirt field than an airport. But there's a lot of private planes over there, and I have to listen to those damn private planes flying overhead all the time. It's annoying.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because there are definitely the right and wrong sides of the tracks here in this town, but the quote unquote right side of the tracks is also directly underneath the airport route. So, it's like, yeah, I live in the good part of town, but airplane constantly.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but in San Diego, when you're like landing, you go directly over the busiest part of the city. And I'm like, if something went wrong, you would kill so many people.
Yeah, well, what do you think it's like landing a plane in New York?
Well, I guess, but I mean, seriously, like you could walk near where the planes would go, and it was like, wow, if I reached up, I could touch that wheel, couldn't I? I mean, it was crazy. I just didn't think they'd do that.
Okay, we have to buy Diana a curtain for that window.
Yeah.
It is so bright, it
one
is a
behind
pain
me?
to look at you.
Yeah. Having light from the back is never good for video.
Yeah, I ran into that problem a lot making my own videos. I had to put up so many curtains and green screen thingies to keep the windows from bleeding through and fucking up all of the, the compositing.
Yeah, I'm just not good with direct light at all. So
And Molly's wanting attention. She came over and looked at me like, "Okay, pet me and hold me and cuddle me."
I'm hoping for better lighting if I ever get to move to that other room where I'm supposed to go, the one downstairs.
well, I don't know, Diana, if you're like sitting at a table or something. You might just rotate your whole setup 180 degrees so that you're facing the window instead of having it behind you.
Or
Yeah,
have it to your side.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could do that.
just so the camera's not looking right into the light source.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even 90 degrees. Like I said, even 90 degrees would.
Yeah, well,
help.
90 degrees, and you have the light from the side would be good for most things.
Oh, let's see what happens if I try that. I just have to get up here.
Oh,
Making you stand. Oh no.
Yeah. You horrible people.
so You know, I know you were in the hospital for a bit, but I really didn't hear what that was about.
Well, everybody seems to be confused. I mean, I was in extreme pain.
Oh yeah, that's a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
But the hospital people concentrated on my heart. And they maintained that that was why I was taken there. And no, it was not. Now I know I do have cardiac difficulties. But
Yeah, I know that's what they've been worried about before when you've been in hospital.
yeah.
So I imagine that, like, you know, if a heart can, like if cardiac issues are a heart condition, that I guess digestive issues would be a never mind.
Yeah.
I need to make more room on my desk for some of the things that I can't really, like, there's just, like, it's so cluttered, and I have all these, like, novelty lights and plasma balls and stuff. And there's this thing I just saw, it was a jellyfish lava lamp that looks kind of cool, and I'm so tempted, but I have no room for it. Oh, well.
Okay.
What do you need a desk for?
My computer.
I'm on a desktop computer and I don't use a desk.
Well, I have a lot of monitors.
How many monitors do you have? 5?
Well, 3 plus the television.
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying my little
I don't
TV.
know how you're using a desktop computer without all of that, but okay.
Because I've got my computer hooked up to my 50-inch TV on my entertainment center.
Ah.
So I just sit in my recliner with the keyboard across my lap.
Time to play.
I kind of need the desk. I have so many things like that. I could just, like, turn off Vector. I barely use him. That would give me some space. I don't know.
I was going to say, if you didn't have a robot taking up half of your desk.
Well, on the other hand, you know, that would be like, I couldn't put a lamp in front of this monitor, could I?
No.
Yeah.
I guess his play area is not as big as I thought it was.
I guess I could make some room, like, you know, where the minions are. I'm not sure, but I've already got the alien lamp and the plasma ball going on, so I don't know. Maybe I could just decide to put it in my room instead. It does sort of look nightlighty. That's actually not a bad idea. I was wanting to get myself a present.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've been enjoying my new TV I got last month. It's been good. I got still planning on doing the movie night tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh no,
Try to join in.
it'll be like I said, it'll be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll send out the links ahead of time. It'll be on StreamYards. It won't be going live or anything, but you know, just come in, watch a movie.
Yep.
Are you still doing the whatever Pride movie, or have you...
Yeah, we're still doing the Pride movie.
Gotcha.
We can pick out another movie at some point too, whatever you guys like. I was thinking maybe Kelly's Heroes or Labyrinth.
Oh well, I love Labyrinth. See, I am so sorely tempted by this Mass Effect jacket thing here. It looks really cool, but it's like crazy expensive. I love the sort of like quilted look on things like that. It's like it manages to look sci-fi without necessarily screaming, "Look at me, I'm fangirling out over here." A lot of just straight up motorcycle jackets have that.
I'm gonna have to start doing more of altering my own clothes.
Well, you'd have to have permission to alter somebody else's.
Yeah, I still want to learn how to do that. I've always wanted to learn, and I never have. Not yet.
Well, I have basic sewing skills. I haven't really made clothes. I've, more made bags and stuffed animals and things like that.
I need to get some basic sewing skills.
I know I'm lousy at it. That's why I do digital art.
Yeah. So I have to figure out stuff like, how you alter stuff so that it actually fits your body.
I suppose measuring yourself can't be the easiest thing in the world.
Well, Soft Girl helps me with that, but
Oh, good.
but yeah, if you're measuring yourself, your measurements will be a little different because just the fact of whether you've got your arms up or down can change your waist measurement by an inch.
Yep. Чечена de Kereso de Bototieni.
Whoa.
What?
Well, I was looking because I don't actually own a physical copy of Minions Rise of Gru. I've only watched it streaming. The Blu-ray is like literally $6.16. I think I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah, go for it. In fact, that reminds me. I wanted to maybe get it the first season of Overlord.
Okay.
It's an anime. It's one of my favorite animes, and I found a DVD of it on Amazon. It's $25 right now.
Is it related to that video game, or is it just
No, it's
okay.
it's not. It's completely unrelated. Guy plays his favorite MMO. Oh, and the server is shutting down, so he's kind of sitting there, kind of feeling a bit melancholy. Like, well, I've spent all this time in this game, and now it's gonna be over. And he seems like he either falls asleep or dies while he's plugged into the MMO, and he wakes up and everything's come to life, and he's in like this new world. And now he's stuck in his avatar's body, which is this necromancer elder lich. It's a skeleton.
Oh, damn it! The Rise of Gru DVD or Blu-ray is not Prime. That's a problem.
And then he accidentally, by misspeaking, he accidentally gets all of his NPCs. He's from his to decide to take over the world. He is kind of offhandedly mentions, "Oh yeah, it might be nice to take over the world." And one of them overhears, and seeing as all the NPCs see him as basically as a god, they decide, "Okay, our god wants to take over this world. Let's do that for him." And then he finds out later, like, "What?"
At this point, I could kind of see it that if some evil organization took over the world, they'd do a better job of running it than our current Congress.
They just might.
Really?
Well,
That sounds like it'd be a good plot for a movie somewhere.
I still like the idea of like a movie where the bad guy, say like a super villain or Bond villain or whatever, wins and then hates it because they're like, look, I thought I was going to be sitting on a throne issuing proclamations, holding a scepter, but no, look at all this paperwork. Oh my gosh. That kind of thing.
There was a scene in that in the last season of the Overlord where he's got all these stacks of paperwork and he's looking through and like, I don't understand any of this. He's trying to play the role of Overlord where everyone around him thinks he's like the super genius too, so he's trying to play the part. He's been basically faking it until he makes it, basically.
I could see this whole society where, they spend all this time passing around the papers and, putting new markings down along the bottom line, but like for hundreds of years, everyone's been illiterate and they've got no idea why they keep doing these rituals.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming we've all seen Idiocracy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
I watched it again recently, and it's a little too appropriate.
Yeah, I did not expect that movie to become a documentary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because I posted this thing about it was like a meme. Would you not have sex for 2 years for like $700,000 or something like that? And it seemed like almost all of my friends were like, "Oh, easily." In fact, I'm owed a ton of back pay. And
Yeah.
I'm like, so all of the smart people I know aren't breeding. But all of the stupid people I hear about have like these massive broods of kids. It's insane.
Yeah,
Well,
it's sad.
I'm sure that was the inspiration for Idiocracy, that they saw that the people who went to college were deciding not to have kids, and the people who were like these religious fanatics were having 8 or 10 kids each.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like my neighbors down the street with the it's not hate, it's heritage flag on their car,
Mm.
and they have 4 kids.
But I mean,
lot-
what kind of heritage is that?
Well, a lot of that being that the people who go to college actually figure out that they can't afford to have kids.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that my sister didn't have 50 kids. She's one of those, was one of those religious crazies that had an IQ, I don't know, slightly below room temperature.
Yeah, my oldest brother was one of those who was trying to have as many kids as possible, but I think the doctor finally told him his wife couldn't take any more.
I hear about those women who have like 15 kids over the course of their lives. I'm like, oh my God, how?
The quiverful movement.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know how they afford that many kids, but I also don't understand how a body survives that many kids.
Well, I'm the youngest of 9, and my father was from a family of 12.
Oh, Gad, I can't even picture it. Like spending that much of your life pregnant? Holy fuck.
Yeah, you got to be pregnant pretty much constantly to do something like
Well,
that.
yeah, for my mom, it was 9 kids in 15 years, so there's about every year and a half.
My grandmother
Oh.
had 7 kids.
Well, and then they've got what they call Irish twins, when they've got 2 kids who are born less than a year apart. It's like, how does the woman's body have any chance at all to recover in between?
And let's see here. Well, my uncle has 7 kids, sort of. 3 of them were actually he married this one girl who had 3 kids already, and they had 2 more kids, and then he divorced her, married another girl, and they had 2 more kids.
Hey, you.
It's just pure insanity. I mean, seriously, how does anyone afford that many kids? You'd have to like eat 3 of them just to, I don't know.
Well, and if you're not insane when you start having them, you will before they're all grown.
Yeah. Where do you even keep them all? I mean, who has a house that big? Or in their case, a trailer that big?
Yeah, well, I was taking care of 5 girls at one time.
Or you can just do what the Duggars did.
Which was?
Start your own reality TV show.
Oh, that. Well, okay, sure. I guess they were probably paid bank for that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, and the traditional way to do it is that when the older ones are teenagers, you kind of leave them to take care of the younger ones.
Yeah, that's basically how my grandmother handled things.
I would absolutely tell people to screw off if they said, look, you're a kid, change all those diapers. Like you were first, so now you're the babysitter. I mean, sure, you'd probably be pretty neglected as the youngest, but I mean, at the same time, I would not want to be roped into being a parent
Yep.
just because I was, in the wrong birth order.
That's the theory I was raised under, and just like you said, being the youngest, I was completely neglected, and I think it was always that everyone always assumed somebody was watching me, but everybody always assumed someone else was doing it, so no one actually was. I grew up in a house with 12 people, and I was always ignored.
Oh yeah, I need to put Molly's flea stuff on her. Actually, I could probably wait another week, but I want to try and get it back on the schedule of around the first of each month.
Yeah, I just did the flea treatment on Petunia last night. I still have to do Sammy.
Oh, fun. Yeah, this one doesn't do too well with flea treatment. It's a good thing that she hasn't had fleas but once.
Well, I use the frontline stuff that you just have to hold them long enough to squeeze the dab into their skin on the back of their neck.
I got
Yeah.
I got this Zone Guard Plus. It's basically generic frontline.
Mhm.
It's the exact same stuff. It's just way less expensive.
Oh, really? How much you pay for that?
6 months treatment right now is $23.84 right now. So it's
Okay.
pretty good price. And it's the exact same stuff as frontline. I'll give you a link.
The frontline at Target, each treatment is good for 3 months, and you get 3 tubes for like $45.
There you 6 months supply. You got 23.84 right now. So, like I said, it's the exact same stuff as frontline.
Yeah.
Always go with the generic brand with medicine when you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I lived in New York, the Wegmans stores had their own brand of it, and it was a lot cheaper, and it was the same active ingredients. So
Yeah, that's the same active ingredients as frontline and that thing. So I was also looking at Iverheart Plus instead of the Heart Guard. I still gotta talk to my vet about that. They want to give me this super expensive $75 for a 3 month supply for the anti-flea stuff, and then the Heart Guard is I think about $40-$50
Yep.
for a 6 month supply, and the Iverheart Plus is only about $25 for a 6 month supply, and I'm going with the Frontline, which is I just mentioned, $23, so it's a lot less expensive.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing that we had to miss here, because I had the accident with the van Thursday night, and Sammy and Petunia were supposed to get their vet checkups on Friday, and they're both a little behind on their vaccines at this point. So now I got to figure out how I'm going to get them to the vet. I don't really like the idea of trying to carry 2 cats on the bus.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I don't think that the bus actually goes up the street where the vet is, so I'd probably have to carry him something like a third of a mile from the bus stop to where the vet is.
I've got that cool backpack that you can put a cat in, where it's like, they can see out because it's translucent. It's pretty cool.
Yep, I got one of those too, but the one I got, it turned out that it's a bit small for Sammy. He can sit in it, but he can't lay down in it, so it's not comfortable for him.
I consider getting something like that from my bird.
For an extra fee, Upper will carry a pet, but I think it's kind of expensive anyway, because Upper's not the cheapest way to go.
Yeah, I kind of thought I might have to bite the bullet and do it that way, but yeah.
Well, until recently, I always lived within walking distance of the vet, but until recently, I didn't have a car, so I can totally take my cats to the vet easily enough. Also, I'm eating seaweed snacks.
What does seaweed snack on?
It was weird how good these are. I mean, it's just sushi paper, but in snack form. I used to actually buy big old sheets of nori paper to just munch on them, but that's so much more expensive than one of these. So, yeah, it's good stuff. I actually made I'm not supposed to have rice right now, so I made these bullshit California rolls by buying some imitation crab meat and rolling it up in one of these. It's not bad.
Why are you not supposed to have rice?
Oh, it's this whole thing with my neurology thing. They want to do all these tests because I'm in a new place now and they don't know me well enough. So I'm on a couple of restrictions that I'm not happy about, but it'll be
Yeah.
over soon.
Well, it does kind of make sense to find out, when you're in a new environment, if you're going to be exposed to anything there that's going to cause a reaction.
Yeah, so. Well, it's really more like they just don't know me well enough yet. And so they want to do all kinds of tests, not for environmental stuff. It's more like, well, we need to get to know you. I don't know. I guess the records from San Diego weren't good enough.
I don't know.
I don't know. When I moved from New York to Michigan, I had a huge problem with that because over and over I kept proving that no one at the mental health center ever read the records from my clinic in New York, which is why it took me to fighting them for 3 years to get back on the same medication I had been on.
So many doctors refuse to listen because clearly they know better than you. I mean, they know a lot of things better, obviously. But when you tell them, look, I've been doing this for more than a decade. Please try to trust me here and trust my last doctors. But nah.
Yeah, that was my whole argument was, these are the meds I've been on for the last 3 years. Why can't you just renew the prescriptions I had? And nobody would even look at my records to verify that I had already been taking those meds.
That's annoying. Kind of wish we had Ben in here to talk about this topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to getting settled in here.
One of the nice things here is the pharmacy will mail out all my prescriptions, so I don't have to worry about not being able to get my prescriptions refilled, being the beginning of the month.
That's what I have to look into.
My pharmacy is also in walking distance, so it's pretty easy, except during winter time. But even then, I still have to go out for food, so obviously it's not that bad.
It is pretty easy for me to get to all the medical stuff on the bus. Sloth Girl got approved to the Medicab because, after the chemo, she really can't walk. So at least she's got approved for the Medicab, so we don't have to worry about her missing any of her treatments. And I can get back and forth to we've got this huge medical plaza out here that they pretty much got everything in one building. It's one of those things that, if I want to take a bus downtown and transfer, I can get a bus straight out there. Or if I just want to walk about half a mile, I can get directly on the bus that goes directly there.
So for such a small place, the buses here go everywhere. Like I know it probably won't mean anything, but going from Burlington to Milton is not a short trip, but the buses do it.
Well, the ones here are pretty good. The only problem was that during COVID, they cut all the buses down to only once an hour.
They actually did the opposite here. When COVID hit, they made all the buses free.
Well, here they made them free, but they cut them down to once an hour because they didn't have nearly as many people riding them, and they never put them back.
The one thing they could do with the buses here, and I realize it would be a massive undertaking, is making them electric. Because in Seattle, they always had these wires overhead, much like with, say, trolley cars, you know?
Yep.
But it saved a lot of environmental nonsense.
Yeah, here the buses all run on natural gas, and I'm not really clear yet environmentally how much of a difference that makes, if that's really that much better than oil.
I think it burns cleaner.
Yeah, it's less pollution.
Which is really the only reason I care, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just not sure on the whole scale of things as far as, what it takes them to extract it and refine it. If it's less pollution for the whole cycle, or if it's only less pollution while they're burning it.
Well, maybe I'm misremembering, but I seem to remember there was something about like trying to use corn oil or something. Or maybe that was just for like oil changes in cars. I'm not sure. There was something about
No.
using corn oil.
Yeah, no, actually the University of Minnesota has a bus that for the last 20 years has run on nothing but the used fryer oil from the student union.
I bet it smells terrific.
It smells like French fries.
That's awesome. I love it.
Hello, hooded person.
These new persons.
Well, there's
I was
someone
assuming
behind
that was
you in a
Amiga
hood.
behind you.
Yeah, the hooded person behind you there.
Oh, that's one of Amiga's sons.
Oh,
There was a certain word for that, wasn't there, for the Greek theater of the people in the hoods that the audience wasn't actually supposed to see?
I don't
I think
know.
that was just the stage crew.
Yeah, but there was a word for it.
I don't know it.
Untouchables.
Yeah, that they would move things around on the stage, and you were supposed to pretend those people weren't there.
It's funny, I've heard way too many stories about the origin of break a leg. Apparently, like the one that it's really from, supposedly, was that instead of applauding, sometimes people would just smash the chairs up and down in like the audience, and sometimes if they were vigorous enough, one of the chair's legs would break, and so if the performance was good enough, it's like, hey, break a leg, you know. But the one I liked best was actually the break a leg because then you'll be in the cast. I like that one better.
That was my joke, but
Hmm.
I had
Well, I
heard
like
one
that.
about the chairs, but that actually sounds like it's a feasible explanation.
Hmm.
Oh, hey there.
Hmm.
Yeah, we got.
You got people behind you.
Yeah, Amiga's here. Linda's here.
You got peoples with you. See, you're not alone anymore.
Hmm.
Look at that smile on your face.
Mm-hmm. Can't remember the last time I saw one of those.
No, I don't do that sort of thing very often, I admit.
And a barking dog.
Uh-huh. Springer Spaniel.
Usually the only time Molly seems to bark is when I get her playing and excited about throwing a ball or something.
Oh, we heard her just a few minutes ago.
No, that's not Molly.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
off of Lavender thing.
No, not now. A little while ago, we heard Molly.
No, she didn't make any noise.
So I knew this couple, this married couple in Seattle. Their last name was Springer. Now, I thought it was funny to pronounce it Springer. And he, who originally was, like, that's his last name before she took it on, he thought it was funny. She hated it. I'm not even sure why. But I mean, he was always, Springer, that's good. She was like, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. I didn't get it. Like, it's not even originally her name. What was the problem?
I notice Molly, when she wants attention or something, she usually whimpers, which another sign that she has the Italian Greyhound in her, because that's more of a Greyhound trait. To whine and whimper instead of bark.
Well, that's probably for the best. Barking is scary.
Yeah, I prefer the whining and whimper as a form of communication over bark.
What about the dining?
I don't know.
It's actually the reason I would not get a beagle or any small dog. I find them too yappy.
She hasn't been all that yappy.
Okay, my sister had beagles when I lived with her, and they drove me nuts.
Oh my word! That's pretty messed up.
What was that? It looked like a space weevil.
That was a ball that a dog chewed up.
Oh.
It's supposed to look like this.
It's a burst tennis ball, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I saw someone burst a baseball once, and I had no idea it was full of thread.
Yes.
Oh yes, I've seen a baseball taken apart before.
It's a shitload of thread wrapped around cork.
That's actually how most balls are made.
Yeah.
That they just have some kind of a cork or rubber core, and they're just wound up with thread.
Never really understood the point of softball versus baseball. Like, why?
I think. Excuse me, please. I think softball was originally intended to be played indoors.
Huh.
I think.
Okay.
I don't know about indoors, but I know the main point of it was that the softball wasn't going to go as far when they hit it, so it could be played on a smaller field.
Yeah.
At least I understand the point of stickball.
I'm starting to think that softball sounds a little sexist because it's usually played by women or girls.
Right.
So if the whole idea is, oh yeah, we got to nerf how far this thing goes, that just sounds rude.
Yeah, I know the softball bases are only 60 feet apart compared to 90 feet for baseball.
Yep. Yeah, I think it was mainly just, they started doing it for places that they didn't have enough room for a standard baseball field.
Larger ball and smaller field. History. Earliest known softball game was played in Chicago, Illinois on Thanksgiving Day in 1887.
It's wacky to believe how old these games are, these sports. It's hard to think of it. But just, when I think of the 1800s, I'm still picturing, like the Old West and freaking whatever steampunk looking stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, the Old West went into the 1900s, really.
Yes, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Golf balls are actually rubber band balls with a hard shell.
It's gathering to hear outcome of the Yale University and Harvard University the football game. When the score was announced and bets were settled, a Yale alumni threw a boxing glove at a Harvard supporter. Okay.
I just saw a hand in front of the camera.
I don't know whose that was because Miga's on the other side of the table.
The Harvard fan grabbed a stick and swung at the rolled up glove, and George Hancock, a reporter there, called out, "Play ball," and the game began.
Okay, so it started with a boxing glove.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. Whenever I see someone crossing themselves, I still want to say, "Steal third."
Yeah.
Boxing glove and a broom handle, apparently.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, watch.
Well,
Yeah, I was right. I got out of bed too early.
Yeah, you got out of bed, so it's always too early.
You beat me.
Well, I wish I could fix my sleep timing somewhat so I would fall asleep before sunrise.
Mm,
Because it would actually be useful to be able to get up by noon.
yeah, I ended up falling asleep just as the sun was coming up today.
Yeah, well, that's become standard for me, and since in the summer the sun comes up earlier, I'm not really making much progress.
I actually was planning on doing some yard work at night, seeing as it's been way too hot to go outside.
Yep.
I can do it actually do yard work since I have my scythe. I don't make noise too much. I have this neck thing for a flashlight.
Yeah, as long as you're not running power tools.
Yeah, so I can actually do yard work at night, which is really nice.
Yep. Of course, now I'm going to have to be on the bus schedule, so.
Yeah, that's gonna make things fun.
Yeah, I can't depend on doing things in the evening as much.
Is this going to affect your stream, Jenny?
Well, since I'm down to only doing the streams once a week, it probably shouldn't be a big effect on it.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Skits.
Oh, hey, Skits. How you doing, sweetness?
For some reason, my browser keeps deciding my mic doesn't exist anymore. It's very frustrating.
I keep saying this would be a really good area if I could get, if I could have an electric bike around here.
Electric bikes are nice. I've used them on the bike path here.
Yeah, well, it's like almost everything I need to do is within 5 miles of the building, so.
Yeah.
My biggest problem is this apartment's so small that I don't really have a place to keep a bicycle where it would be safe overnight.
I wonder if you can get I wonder if you can get one that folds.
Those would not be electric.
Yeah, these days they might have an electric one that would fold in half.
Foldable electric bike, yeah, they do exist.
Well,
just typed it up on Amazon.
Yeah.
The one that I was using was pretty sweet. I mean, you could pedal it, obviously, and on the hills or whatever that was giving you trouble, you could just hit the motor and give yourself a boost. It was pretty nice.
Looks like they run between $500 to $1,000.
Yeah, that's about what I was looking at. Was actually to get a dependable one, you've got to get more like $800 to $1,000. The cheaper ones, they tend to burn out too quick. The batteries don't last.
It looks like this $800 one has a nice.
I was considering buying an electric bike until it was time to move out here.
Yeah, I used to bicycle a lot when I was younger, but especially now that I know my lung capacity is reduced, I don't think I could handle it now. Hey, Stephanie.
Well, I thought I was in better shape, but it turns out that you use such different muscles for riding a bike that it wore me out almost instantly when I first started riding again this summer.
Yep. And another vote for Diana smiling being a good thing.
Yeah.
Another vote for what?
For you smiling being a good thing.
Oh,
And you resisted the whole moving away thing.
Have you noticed the trend where we basically have to force you kicking and screaming to do what's good for you?
well, you decide it's good for me. I don't know.
Well, obviously this is good for you. You're smiling again.
I really miss Pittsburgh. I do.
Yeah, well, I miss Seattle, but
Okay,
I'm so happy where I am, so cope.
Let's break this down. What about Pittsburgh do you miss? You didn't seem to have anything there that you did.
Well, I never thought I would hear myself say this. But over the period of 35 years, Pittsburgh became home.
Yes, but what about it was the question.
I think it's the Eastern Europeanness of the place is one thing.
I thought you hated that,
I do.
but you like it.
Yes.
Wait.
You're weird.
You want
Yeah.
to stay. You want to stay. The thing that made it home is the thing that you hate.
I think the thing is, it was familiar and therefore less threatening, even if it was uncomfortable.
You might have it there, honey. You may have it.
Well, you can make things over time. Things will become familiar. So then that's not something you'll lose. Anyway, there's a foldable electric bike for about $900. You want to take a look at that?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, like I say, two problems. One is not having $900. The other one is not having a place to keep it. That
Well,
somebody isn't going to try and take the motor off of it while I'm sleeping.
That's the point of the foldable. It being foldable, you can fold it up and put it in store it on a wall or something. It collapses down, so it's nice and compact.
Yeah, I still really don't have a place to put it. My whole apartment is like 440 square feet. And in order to live in this space, I have built vertically. I've got 6-foot shelving covering, any significant length of wall.
That's amazing because your place, I mean, as far as I could tell, is smaller than my place was.
All right, well, here's the thing. My dad had a foldable bike, not an electric one, but still a foldable bike that he kept at my place for when he would visit in San Diego. It would fit in the top shelf of a closet.
Yeah, they are very compact. I've been thinking about getting one myself.
And I'm starting to burn out a little, so I think I'm going to head out. I know, but seriously, like I'm starting to feel anxious. So I'm gonna talk to you later.
Okay, dear.
Wednesday, if you still do the show.
I'm gonna have to see about restarting the Wednesday shows. Yeah.
I'll catch you evil geniuses later.
Okay, honey.
Okay.
You
Bye-bye.
take care and be good. Oh my. Well, looks like 2 hours might be a comfortable time for a show because what I'm showing right now is 020157.
Yep. From what I understand, 2 hours or less is usually what you want to go for if you want good views on a stream.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I
then.
hear a lot of people recommending.
So yeah, we might have to go for that and see if we can't theme the shows to be complete in 2 hours and stuff like that, and because I'd really like to work on a theme for each show. We started out with Elon today, for example.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we could do that and find things that people would find interesting, and if they wanted to throw money at us, then that would be great. I'd like that.
Well, we got plenty of ideas for topics.
My topics and data mix.
Stephanie says never start with Elon.
Yeah.
No, you never want to finish with Elon.
Oh God, he is such a doofus.
Yeah, it's the whole thing about limiting how many posts you could read on Twitter.
That is absolutely stupid. I mean, it really is. What does he think he's doing?
Basically, he created his own problem with that. From what I understand, he's trying to curb the whole data scraping issue that he created.
Well, from what I heard, the data scraping thing is just an excuse. That he's trying to save money by migrating it to a new server. And basically, because he doesn't have enough people to actually do the work anymore, that it got screwed up halfway through the process. So now he doesn't have the capacity to really put up for the system to keep up with it.
Yeah, it's what? Basically, everybody quit because he was running such a shit show.
Well, he fired half of them, so then everybody else who could get a job anywhere else left.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my.
But yeah, like the first week that he was there, he literally fired half the staff.
I imagine, and if this probably won't keep up for very long with it, because he'll have to backtrack on. This probably be something he'll have to backtrack eventually. But the question is whether people continue wanting to be on the platform at all.
Yeah, well,
Or,
I think the whole thing all along is he's been trying to do things that would cut expenses short term, because I think he thought he could turn around and sell it and get his money back, and that hasn't worked.
he's not going
Because
to
I
be able
think
to do
that's
that.
also the whole thing about him like not paying rent on any of the buildings. That he was, like trying to artificially prop up the value of it by trying to not have expenses.
Jeez.
That's just my theory.
That would explain the stocks.
Because you remember he tried to back out of the deal. He didn't really want to buy it, but he
Right,
already had the
right.
contract signed. Egg. Oh. Anyway, you were saying you were going to wrap it up here.
I don't know. Maybe that's an idea to do. You guys want to take it? You want to guys take it to the end? Because I'll say then I want to thank everybody who's here. I want to thank everybody who's not here. You guys keep me going, and I hate you for it. I really do. What can I tell you? But thank you all, really and truly. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for continuing to support this. If you want to call it a platform, you can. It's really nice to have people around on Sundays and maybe on Wednesdays pretty soon.
Yeah, we keep each other going.
Yeah, pretty much. I like that. I mean, I would really, really like if we could to do that commune idea, but I know how many problems there are with it. Getting everybody into one place is problem number one.
Yeah, a lot of people have a reason to stay where they are.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah. I mean, it would be a little easier for me now that I've been yoinked out of Pittsburgh, and I'm in a new place now.
Well, like I know a bunch of people who really know they should get the hell out of Florida, but they've got family there, so they're stuck.
You don't have anybody specific in mind now, do you?
Oh, you know at least a couple of them.
Yeah, I sure do.
I could probably survive Florida, but I would need subtropical weather, though. The only other place I can think of that really provides that would be the tail end of California.
Yeah, well, I have to say that Minnesota, the winter is the only bad part of it. If you can take the winter, everything else here is good.
I don't think I could take the winter.
I'm still not sure I could take the winter in Minnesota. I really am not sure.
Oh, come on. COVID has proven to us that we can go 6 months without leaving the house.
Well, like I said...
Yeah, but I've got to leave the house every other day to get perforated.
Well, like I said, the average between what you're used to and what's in Minnesota was only about a 10-degree difference, and it only lasts about a month longer.
Yeah.
That's the average, but
well, and as far as getting you to your medical stuff, they provide for that here. Sloth Girls being able to do it when we don't have a car.
I mean, that's a lot more of an adjustment than what I'd have to make if I was to move up there. A lot less of an adjustment.
I mean, I wouldn't mind moving closer to Purple. I really wouldn't. Because Purple's a wonderful people person.
Well, like I said, I like the political climate here. We've got people running the state who actually seem to give a fuck about the people who live here.
Good political climate, good medical, good transportation, apparently.
Yeah, the transportation varies depending what city you're in.
You can take the shit bus.
Yeah, well, Minneapolis still has the problem of that they're still trying to run everything on the hub system. So, you've got to go downtown no matter where you want to go.
Yeah. Pittsburgh does that too.
And Minneapolis has a perfect way to avoid that. Because they literally have a major mall like at each corner of the city. So they should use each of the malls as a bus hub.
Okay.
And instead of having one central hub, they could have 5 hubs.
Yeah, that would make sense.
All right, that makes sense.
But instead, bus service to the malls usually cuts off at 6 o'clock in the evening when people could actually have time to go to the mall and shop.
6? Well, what time do the malls close?
Usually 9.
So you've got no bus service for the last 3 hours of the malls being open.
Yeah, that's what happens with most of them.
That's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, of course, it's like the people who work at the mall and have to close the stores. Yeah, they're usually not making a lot of money, so a lot of them couldn't afford a car, so they can't take those jobs.
Yeah.
If you're working at the food court in a mall, you probably can't afford to drive a car.
What do you mean, probably? Do they even pay those people minimum?
Yeah.
Now, if you're waiting tables, you don't get paid minimum.
Yep. Yeah, that's why we've got to eliminate this whole tipping idea.
Yes. My understanding is that America is unusual for that.
Yes, it is.
I know Europeans find it very strange when they come here.
Yeah.
Native Atheist says he's been trolling people walking around in a Bud Light t-shirt.
Oh, no.
I don't care what who their mascot is. I'm not drinking that piss in a can.
I never drank beer to start with, so it had no real effect on me.
I can't stand anything that comes out of Anheuser-Busch.
I can't stand anything that tastes even vaguely like beer. That's why I'm having such a problem finding a decent hard cider, is all the ones I'm finding around here just taste like weak beer with flavoring.
Though I did hear somebody suggest that Budweiser should get into selling marijuana. Think of it, they've already got the name.
Yep.
Say again?
Well, they've already got the name, Budweiser.
Yeah.
Selling marijuana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still considering, trolling the turfs by walking around topless until they get the gender marker changed on my driver's license.
I like it. You should do that.
I got to do that this month, too. Unfortunately, my name change has not gone through yet, so I'm going to have to change my driver's license twice. I need to renew it by my birthday, and my court date wound up being after my birthday.
Well, I've had I've had to do the driver's license twice. Yeah, because I replaced my Pennsylvania driver's license before I left home, and eventually I'm going to have to get a New York license.
Yeah, well, part of the thing with the name change is they have to do a criminal background check.
Yes.
And the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension just dragged their feet for months and months and months, and that's why I'm so late on getting this done.
Elon Musk, greatest genius of our time, and running a social media platform. What if we don't let people look at the website?
Sorry, I was coughing. I didn't hear that.
Elon Musk, greatest genius of our time, running a social media platform. What if we don't let people look at the website?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It's not really going to boost the advertising revenue if people spend less time on the site.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think it was something he planned to do, and I think he's trying to make a bullshit excuse to cover up for fucking up something else.
Yeah, like I said, the thing I heard was that it had to do with the whole turning off making it so you can't use the API on it, and then that caused a lot of people to start doing data scraping. So you tried to fix it by, but
yeah, well, like I say, what I was reading over the last 2 days was something about them trying to migrate it to a new server.
That sounds more plausible.
Because I guess he didn't want to be paying Google to host it. I think it was.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit more plausible.
We already did the sign-off thing, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We were starting into it. Yes, we were. You guys, either one of you have any last words?
Well, I hope they're not my last words. I hope I'll still be around to say something else.
Not really.
I'll be doing my usual thing Wednesday afternoon at 2 Central Time.
I'll be making a garden tour video at some point.
I'll have to see if I can come by.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yay. Oh, excuse me. And then, well, okay, next week, there's going to be some scheduling problems because got to go back to Pittsburgh and pick up the rest of my stuff at the apartment if it's still there.
Yep.
And bring that here. I've got to bring the first half here, but the mover is not cooperating.
Yeah, I heard something about that from Mom NATO. I didn't understand why your stuff hadn't been delivered yet.
They're just fucking around. It's my hope that I don't lose it, but I'm pretty much resigning myself to having lost everything that's important because they have all my clothing. They have half my books.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but
well, they were just scamming, basically.
Yeah.
They were raising the price every hour, and even when we told them to quit loading, they kept loading and told us they were loading and they were going to charge us for it. And I just want my stuff back. I want to be through with them.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to be calling the Attorney General of New Jersey. That'll be a bunch of fun.
Well, yeah, we'll have to deal with all that later.
Yep.
So I may have to open up a what do you want to call it? A GoFundMe. Because all my kitchen stuff, all my clothing.
Mhm.
Well, if you lose your kitchen stuff, you can hit some of the thrift stores and stuff. You can usually get a lot of good kitchen stuff out of those places.
Yeah. And clothing.
Mhm.
I suppose I don't necessarily need as much as I had, but it would be really nice to have more than one suit of clothing. I mean,
Well,
right
yeah, you
now,
need a couple of good outfits.
yeah. I mean, right now I've been wearing the same clothing for 2 weeks because it's all I've got.
Yeah, sorry. That sucks.
I have one shirt, one pair of jeans, one pair of socks, one pair of panties.
Yeah. Okay, we definitely gotta get Yellows more underwear.
Yeah.
You go bug.
No dodaję gorsa te petit pieke, patranda daję gorsa te pashini.
Maybe throw some stuff up on your Amazon wish list so we can maybe send you some stuff through that.
That
Yeah,
would help
yeah.
if you know the brand you like and your size.
Yeah.
That's not too difficult.
I'm still trying to figure out my size and things because their sizes are so inconsistent.
Yes.
I found everything between a size 6 and a size 12 fits me depending on who the manufacturer was.
Yep.
I'm not so sure about putting clothes up on the Amazon wish list. Just seeing as that can be a little bit wonky with getting the size, but from some of the other stuff, maybe we could help. Like
Yeah.
the kitchen stuff might be good.
Yeah, I'd I'd really like Revere wear, but it's not necessarily cheap. I mean, all you can get in Revere wear anymore is used, but still, it's not cheap.
I got Sloth Girl a set of the Blue Diamond cookware, and she's just been thrilled with that. And
Oh,
I've liked it because it cleans up real easy, even if the stuff dries on overnight.
oh, really?
Yeah, I think I've used that before.
Yeah, and it was only like $100 for like a 10-piece set.
Oh.
I should actually consider replacing my casserole, my old glass casserole thing.
What I'd really like to have is what I had before. I mean, I'd like to have a Dutch oven. I'd like to have a double boiler.
Mhm.
A set of saucepans, skillets. I finally got to the point where I had 3 skillets, which was great.
Yeah. Well, the Blue Diamond was nice because I got her the basic set, and then we've just added on some extra pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Like I bought her the big 5-quart chicken fryer pan.
Oh my! The round glass casserole baking dish which I have is only about $20 on Amazon.
Daję korostu.
So builder.
Excuse me.
The reason why I'm looking at replacing it is because there's a chip on one spot, and it makes it cleaning that one spot I have to be really careful not to cut myself.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Also means you can't let puppy lick it clean.
I don't need to do the replacement right now because I haven't moved downstairs. I don't know when I'm going to get to move downstairs.
Yeah, when you'll have a kitchen set up down there.
Yeah, Tony seems to be dragging his feet. And it needs an entire remodel. I mean, right now it's a hair salon. So it's got the hair washing sinks, and it has a whole bunch of building materials stacked up in there, and a whole bunch of tools, and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff's got to be moved out.
What should I do for lunch?
Oh, let's see, lunch.
I understand food is recommended.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or at least a food-like substance.
What
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry
suppose I should
about,
look for some food also.
yeah, what I don't like is I don't have a fruit cup or a fruit salad. I've got cottage cheese, but I don't have the fruit.
Maybe I'll make some eggs.
Eggs is good.
Got a lot of eggs in the fridge right now from the chickens.
Yep. Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Hmm.
Oh, I meant to put eggs on my grocery list last night. It got real late.
Okay.
So,
It's supposed to be, excuse me, it's supposed to be in Aldi's a mile from here. I'll have to try to find it and see if they have anything on their shelves. The other Aldi's that I was at yesterday was very poorly stocked. I can't find meat to save my life.
mhm. Oh, is that a problem with supply lines in New York?
It just might be because every place I've gone has been, I've not been able to find meat. I found um, some cubed beef stew meat yesterday, which was great. I mean, that was the first I'd found it in a couple of weeks. But what I didn't find was produce at this Aldi's.
So they're really against twos. All they have are anti-deuce.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Oh.
Oh, God. I have a bit of information, or not a bit of information. I've got a bit of advice for you two and for anybody who's listening in. Don't get old. Getting old is overrated.
Yeah, I figured that out by the time I was in my mid-20s that it was a mistake.
Because it seems that turning 60 was my death knell.
Oh, well, I'd better watch out for that because it's trying to happen to me for pretty soon.
You're coming up on it in what, 4 years?
Nope, only 2 years. I'll be 58 next month. Well, actually, this month already, July.
Yeah, you were the day before me.
Yep. And then Stool is 3 days after you, and Tornado is somewhere in between there. I keep forgetting exactly which day Tornado is, but I know he's in the same week with us.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of us in July.
Yep.
Faye, if you remember, Faye was July.
Oh, yeah. No, I still see Faye. You know, she still does the girls' night every weekend with Angie.
Yeah, I don't get to see Faye very much. Angie doesn't like me at all. And, oh well. I don't know what I did, but whatever it is, I'm sorry, Angie.
Yeah. You know, I know a couple of people who say that Angie doesn't seem to like them and they don't know why.
Okay.
Do I know this, Angie?
You might. I'm not sure. She's out of Texas.
Yeah. She's done a couple of things with Art Against Ignorance because she sings.
Hmm.
That's probably about the only thing you'd have seen her on YouTube. Some years ago, we did a fundraiser for her because her house was hit with a tornado.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it dropped a very sizable tree across her house.
It took quite a while to correct, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they wound up living in an RV for I don't know how many months before the insurance company finally came through when they were able to get another house.
Yeah, according to someone close by here, Angie thinks I'm faking this whole illness thing. I don't know if
What?
that's true or not, but
Oh, I had not heard any such rumors. But I am greatly relieved. Well, we are greatly relieved. Soft Girl was talking about it too. That that you're now somewhere that when things happen, you've got somebody close by.
I do like that. I do like having somebody around.
Yeah, and that if nothing else, if you wind up in the hospital for a week again, we're not worried about somebody taking care of your kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've stayed overnight a couple of times already, and I've been grateful that Aminga Nuts and Linda are here,
Yep.
and they can, poke their heads into the room with the kitty there and make sure she's fed and watered.
That was always a big concern.
Yes,
Yep.
it was. I would always worry because there was one point where I think I spent 10 days in hospital in Pittsburgh. And it was like, is Sylvia going to survive this?
Yep.
I know she can do 5 days. She's done that more than once.
Well, that was one of the big reasons the last time I drove out there wasn't anyone else to check on her, and it had
Yeah.
already been like 5 days.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, dear. But
Yeah, I figure that if they free feed, the cats are probably okay on their own for about 3 days. Anything more than that, somebody needs to get in there.
yeah. Yeah. And Sylvia's a free feeder.
Yeah.
Does very well with it.
Well, Sammy is wonderful about it. Even when his dish is empty, he doesn't wake me up. How many cats would let you get away with that?
Right.
But basically, I have to free feed because my sleep is so erratic. I can't really keep on any schedule.
Okay.
I can't be sure that I'd feed him at the same time every day.
Yeah. Well, that's the really good thing about the automatic feeder that was presented me. Who did that?
Yeah.
Was that?
Atheist Snail paid for that.
Thank you, lady. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that she got you one with the electronic timer.
Yeah. And the little one has got accustomed to that. And
Yep.
well, I haven't had it set up lately, so she's back to sticking her face in the food whenever she gets hungry.
Well, I try to keep Sammy's bowl full, but sometimes I just don't notice it when I'm finally feeling like I can fall asleep.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes by the time I get up in the morning, it's empty. Speaking of, here he is. I do have to get him a companion. I'm just worried about him being bored too much.
Yeah.
So I am going to have to figure out a way to get to the animal shelter.
That's what I'm thinking too. Well, for some time I've been thinking about the possibility of a companion for Sylvia. I don't know if she'd appreciate it or not, because it's one of these where she'd either love to have someone around, or she's become so accustomed to being an only cat that she'd hate having anyone around.
Well, like when we were in Michigan, I was sure that Sammy just wanted to be left alone because he basically just laid around all day. But, since we moved here, he's been getting more and more active all the time, and now he wants to run around and play a lot more. So, I'm not always here, and I just don't have the energy to chase him, so I think he needs somebody he can play tag with.
Okay.
Which is really kind of odd, because you would think, that as he's getting on in the years, he'd be slowing down instead of speeding up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just, especially like every night around midnight, he gets the zoomies, and he's, literally racing back and forth and bouncing off the walls in the hallway.
It's
Yeah,
kind of entertaining when Molly gets the zoomies.
this one doesn't get the zoomies
Yep.
so much anymore.
Yeah, we got Ox here now.
Say again?
Ox came in.
Hey, Ox, how you doing, honey?
No.
Ox, for reference, we all left and shut down a half hour ago, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of toys with Sammy, and I've got a couple of things, but he really doesn't get into much to like chasing the foam balls or anything. He's more of an ambush hunter. He likes to just like lay in one place and wait for things to come close enough to grab.
Okay. Yeah, I need to play with her more. Because when I do the red dot, she will run up the walls to the ceiling chasing that red dot.
Yeah, Sammy
But then
knows
after
the
a
dot
while,
sheets.
But then after a while, she gets bored with it and then quits.
Yeah, Sammy knows the dot sheets. He won't even bother with it.
Okay.
I do have one toy for him that I've got. I've got like a couple of strips of leather, hanging off the end of a long pipe. So I can swing that around and he'll chase that.
It's actually dangerous to use a red dot with a dog.
Yeah, you were saying about that.
Yeah, they can develop something called laser pointer syndrome.
Yeah, it sounds like they get like OCD about it.
Yeah, they do.
There he is.
Yeah, I had the laser pointer, and Sammy used to play with that, but like I say, he realized it cheats, so now he doesn't bother with it.
Okay.
I think he just realized I was never actually going to catch it, so.
Cat for adoptions in Bohemia.
In Michigan, I had a little remote control mouse. He'd chase that around, but here everything's carpeted. I don't have any hard floors, so I don't have anything that'll run on the carpet.
Okay. My understanding is that's all I've got downstairs, so the mouse would work there. I just have to get everything done.
I've got something I've got an idea for. I've got to dig it out of my storage. That I had a Lego set that had these little robotic crabs that were on tank tracks. So I could run those around on the carpet.
Okay.
They used to drive Tasha crazy. It was one of those things that she kept trying to attack them, but they actually were little crabs, and they'd like shake their claws when they were running, and that would freak her out.
Oh, Bushy. Oh my. Yeah, the movers did destroy my cat tree.
Oh,
So I'll have to replace that.
crap.
And they wrapped it in plastic film and squished it.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, well, that's why my plan for moving is always dismantling things. Because, any type of the furniture that ships flat, you're not going to be able to move it without breaking it unless you knock it flat again.
Yeah. Well, when I move downstairs and get everything that doesn't belong there out of there, I will definitely get a cat tree.
Yep.
Oh, stick one on, like I said, this kind of stuff that you need to replace onto your Amazon wish list, and maybe we'll be able to help you out a little bit here and there.
Yeah, we can try. Oh my. I still have a tangle at the back of my head. Gonna have to either comb or cut that out. What, puppy? Oh no. Do you better.
Yeah, there's a picture of the Lego crabs I had.
Wait a minute, let me go over there and see if I can see it.
Yeah, I just had to post it to the side chat. Actually, I can bring it up here. If I can remember which buttons I'm supposed to press here for sharing screen.
You're not the that's only something that Diana can do.
Well, yeah, Diane will have to bring it up after I share my screen.
Yeah,
there.
I've got the stuff up here just waiting for you to go.
There we go.
All right.
There you go. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I used to chase Tasha around the living room with those guys.
All right then.
I've still got them somewhere. I just have to figure out, which box they're in.
Yeah.
I have rather too many bins that just say Lego.
Bushy.
Well, I guess we're stuck here now because now Sammy is parked on my leg again.
Oh my. Kitty. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I'm gonna have to try to lie down later.
Yep, sleep is good.
Yeah, after all that running around I did with the shopping for my grocery shopping, I laid down on the couch and Molly climbed up on the couch with me and laid her head across my neck.
Oh, hey, Tria.
Tria!
We don't see you around too often.
Hello.
Good to see you, lady.
Native atheist there.
Let's see what we got here.
Sugar bug. I've got some sort of like Salisbury steak things I made the other night. I suppose I should finish those off. Just hamburger patties soaking in beef gravy.
Oh my, that sounds tasty. Oh, I may or may not have said it earlier. I did manage to find some beef and some carrots and potatoes. Maybe I can make a stew in the next day or two, and that would be fun. I have an Instapot or an Instant Pot,
Yeah, I had heard you mention that you got that.
so I get to learn to use that.
I'd gotten one of those for Sloth Girl too, but she didn't use it very much.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I got that for her, and then she got the cancer diagnosis, so she just doesn't cook nearly as much as she used to. She just can't be on her feet long enough to do all the prep work.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So even like when I was up there last night, I was doing all the veggie prep for her to make something today. She was going to make a pasta salad, but she needed me to peel and cut up all the veggies.
Okay. I was looking for gnocchi yesterday, and unfortunately, the Aldi did not have gnocchi.
What's yachi?
Those little potato rolls,
Oh, okay.
the pasta type things.
Yeah, damn it, I can't think of what the word was for those. I just know them by another word. Now I can't think of it.
Okay. Yeah, I like to cut, say, veggies into them and throw some salad dressing over it, and that's dinner.
Well, basically, I'm having to learn how to cook again. I just haven't, I haven't really done any cooking since my fiance died. And when I was on my own, it never seemed worth the effort. But now I don't want to just be eating the prepackaged stuff all the time. So I'm trying to get myself to actually make some real food. And
Yeah.
I've got to get more careful about measuring things because I tend to be a bit too generous on the spices and
Okay.
the seasoning and the spices. I go overboard and things wind up too salty or too spicy. So I've got to get better about actually measuring things for that instead of just trying to guess at them.
Oh my, what I'm gonna do. Oh God. Oh. Set that over there. Carry this in the back and hopefully it won't cut off right away. But I've got to lie down. I'm really, really feeling it in my spine.
Well, Tria, they've got to be the right dinos. Unfortunately,
Yes, dear.
anything that just says dinos, they always have the T-Rex in there, and I don't like that big bully. We got to stick
Oh,
to the
Lord.
good dinos, the ceratopsids and the ankylosaurs and the stegosaurs. You know.
Here we. Oh no. Oh no. No, don't. I'm trying to remember. T-Rex isn't even.
Diana froze. Yeah, actually, native atheists. This is what I've come to the conclusion that I don't cook. I just randomly throw food things together, and sometimes it comes out edible. You back, Diana?
I made a
Sort of.
couple interesting meals that way. Second. Yeah, I'm kind of back.
You had frozen up on us for a while there.
Yeah.
I guess while you were moving the computer around, you lost the signal.
Well, that rice and chicken thing I made with the Mexican spices turned out pretty good. I'm gonna have to do that again sometime. Add a pack of Sargento
I
Mexican
saw
cheese mix.
The hospital I was at tried to do arroz con pollo for dinner, and it was horrible, but the idea sounded pretty good. So I may have to play with that and see if I can do something good.
Yeah, it was the avocado rice I had, and then I mixed in some chicken, which I had cooked up with a packet of taco spices. It was like a 99-cent taco spice thing that I just bought from the grocery store or brand, and I just mixed in the 3 cheese Mexican cheese from the Sargento package I had left. Mixed that all in. It turned out pretty good.
Yay.
Yeah, I'll have to make that again sometime. If I think about it, the Sargento cheese is on sale right now. Maybe I'll pick up another package of a couple more packages while I have the chance. I already bought like 4 packs of cheese for other things.
Okay.
That's one of the nice things about Minnesota.
Say again?
One of the nice things about Minnesota and Wisconsin produce so much cheese that, there's just different brands that alternate, but cheese is on sale almost every week.
Nice.
Maybe let's go easy. I got myself a box of cereals so I could use up the half and a half I have in there. So maybe I'll just have that for lunch.
Yeah, it is something I've gotten to like Aldi's about. That Aldi's, has a selection of some more specialty cheeses, and I found a couple there that were nice.
Yeah, that is one good thing about.
Like I found
them.
Well, they've had this Irish whiskey cheddar.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to check that out.
And I've gotten rather fond lately of Asiago.
Never really cared for Asiago on its own.
Oh, I like to nibble on it.
I'm gonna have to check that out. There's one that opened up, an Aldi's opened up near me during the pandemic. I never really went in there. Just kind of checked it out once. It looks like it had it was fairly cheap.
There's allegedly There's allegedly an Aldi a mile from me. I did not find it when I was looking for it yesterday, but I'd like to see if I couldn't get there on my bike and get breakfast foods and lunch foods there.
Well, I got myself nice and stocked up on rum.
Oh, wow. Apparently, there is an even newer species of Ankylosaurus discovered from the Isle of Wight.
Oh, interesting.
I hadn't heard about this one, and all of these articles have been published in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the place I usually go to get my alcohol was out of stock of my favorite, so I went to this other place, and I got the my Kraken Black Label rum, and I also, since I've never tried it before, I got a smaller bottle of the Kraken Gold Label.
Yeah, I saw you mentioning that on Twitter.
Yeah, so I tried last on Friday.
You were saying it hits harder but doesn't have as much flavor.
Yeah. I prefer, since I usually get more for taste, I prefer the Black Label. I'm not really looking to get super drunk off of the stuff. I'm just looking I want something that has good flavor to it.
Someday, eventually, I want to get the single malt Scotch that Neil has recommended to me. It's called Oban.
Oban, huh?
Say again?
Oban.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's about $100 a fifth.
Ooh, that's expensive. Yeah, I was looking at while I was there. I was also looking at maybe getting a bottle of the Crystal Head vodka, but seeing as the stuff I have is starting to go low, I go easy on that stuff because it's expensive.
Yeah, I gave Sloth Girl.
Just not a vodka person.
I gave Sloth Girl's son my bottle of cheap vodka, and then the other night I'd forgotten I gave it to him, and I went looking for it.
Yeah, I like making screwdrivers every now and then. It's pretty good.
Vodka's good if you've got something that's a very fruity flavor. So that's what I was looking for last week.
Yeah,
But then I realized that all I had was the expensive vodka, and I'd be insulting it with what I had to mix it with.
I like to make a screwdriver every once in a while with vodka.
Yep, screwdrivers are nice.
Just go down to the convenience store down the street, get myself a little thing of orange juice, and make a screwdriver. Works pretty good.
Yep, I just realized last night that I'm short on the ginger ale. I'm into my last pack of it. And that's a pain on the bus because, heavy and bulky items are harder when you have to walk away carrying them.
Yeah. I should
I'm
buy
going to have to get some more and probably go shopping on Tuesday.
I should buy this buffalo horn. Molly chewed through her last one, and they're only about $6. And that's one thing that actually takes about a month for the chew up. So once she gets a hold of something to chew on, she usually is just relentless until it's nothing left. This is why those hooves don't usually last for too long with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's obviously got quite a strong jaw.
Well, it's more of how long she spends doing it. Like this new chew I pulled out that she likes, and she spent basically 3 hours just chewing on it nonstop. And we lost Diana.
Yeah, she'll be back.
Yeah. I guess I'll finish off the that gold rum just to use it up. Maybe I'll try mixing it with some stuff. See how it does as a mix. Fortunately, I don't have any Fireball whiskey I could mix it with.
Oh,
I was looking
too
at.
bad I can't send it to you. I've got a stock of that now.
Well, it's not that expensive to buy, so maybe I'll pick some up next time I'm out.
Yeah, well, just over the holiday season, the liquor store put it on sale at the same time the manufacturer had a rebate. So I got the Fireball whiskey at like $3 a bottle. So I got a couple of them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, last time I had some Fireball whiskey. It was around the holiday season. Somebody had built half a bottle left from a party, and was like, "Can I just take that?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." That was my stock for about a year and a half. Yeah, maybe I'll just go with the cereals. Bought some of the Cookie Crisp, so I can either munch on it if I don't have any milk, or pour myself a bowl. Molly's sleeping and snoring at my feet here. I'll have to take her over to that dog park I was checking out.
Yeah, I heard you mentioning about that too.
Yeah, looks like a pretty nice dog park.
Yeah, when I lived in St. Paul, they had opened an off-leash dog park, and I used to bring our chow there. And it really is amazing how different the dogs behave when they're off leash.
Yep.
When they can just run around run around and play on their own together without being attached to a person.
Yeah, I do kind of wish they had a in between section now. They have a large area for dogs over 25 or over 20 pounds, and a small dog area for under $20 pounds and under. And the small area doesn't look all that great. It doesn't really have too much coverage, for shading. It's really small.
Yeah.
But
Hi, Steph.
but the large dog area is pretty nice. That's what I was checking out, since Molly is just over 20 pounds. She's about around the almost 25 pounds. So it would be nice if they had a intermediate section so I don't have to take her there and have a huge dog that's 3 times her size in the same area.
Yeah. Yeah, the one in St. Paul wasn't really a whole lot of anything. It was basically just a piece of land that had like some awkward mounds and a lot of trees, so they couldn't use it for anything else. So they put a fence around it and claimed it was a dog park. But yeah, I also had a dog who was 60 pounds, so was not so intimidating against the big dogs there.
Yeah, I might have to see if I can go on during a time when there aren't that many people. I am a little bit concerned because I was looking at some of the reviews saying that some people who bring their dogs there aren't particularly nice dogs.
Yeah, that is the one big threat, that if you get a very aggressive dog in there, it could be dangerous to some of the others.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tree, I have tried to leash train Sammy, and he won't have anything of it. I get his harness on and I get him in the hallway, and he just freezes in place and digs his claws into the carpet. So he just has no interest in leaving the apartment ever again. Which is unfortunate, because I was hoping I could, get to take him outside. We've got a park right across the street. So it would have been nice to let him be in the grass and, maybe find an insect.
Well, we do need Diana to come back to shut the stream off here.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you were saying, Tree, about Elmer being a little escape artist and how he could hear the front door and time it from when to bolt.
I think I got Molly out of the habit of bolting out the door. She did that a couple times, and I kind of yelled at her for it when I first got her. Now she kind of figured out if she doesn't have her harness on, she's not allowed to go out.
Yeah, I think Sammy has just come to the conclusion of realizing that there's a chance there could be dogs out there, so I'm staying here. As a person across the hall has two dogs that get pretty noisy.
Molly's dreaming. I can see her legs going, twitching.
I did have one occasion where I had the door propped open because I was trying to get the shopping cart in here. And one of the dogs across the hall tried to run under the shopping cart, but the dog was still on the leash, so didn't get very far, but freaked the hell out of Sammy that the dog had crossed the threshold.
Mm.
But I'm still building for him. I'm still building more high places for him. And again, that goes with getting him a companion. I've got to make sure that there's enough nice purchase for them so that they don't have to fight over one good spot. I have to finish my shelf in front of the window so that they can both lay in front of an open window.
I'd like to get some more shelves put up around here. I was thinking about lining the upper part. I have fairly tall ceilings, so I was thinking about putting a shelf like around the top of the here, so it could kind of like go around each room, and that would give me like nice little shelving space for putting a little knickknack and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, Tree, I would love that if I had a place that I could screen in a porch. It would be nice if Kitty could get outside and play in the grass.
Nope, don't start that, Molly. See what you're doing.
Yeah, I was taking inventory last night because I was afraid that too many of my tools were in the storage locker, which I can't get to without the vehicle. But I think I might still have everything here to still build some simple shelves.
Molly's getting into her. I'm going to start chewing on my foot mode here in a moment. I'm trying to keep her from doing that.
Yeah, don't eat the humans. That's kind of an important rule.
No, it's her foot.
Oh, her foot. I thought you said your foot.
No, her foot. She'll start by scratching her face, and then she'll start licking her foot after she scratches her face, and that'll turn into sticking her entire foot in her mouth and chewing on it.
Yeah, don't eat yourself is a good rule, too.
I think it's an anxiety thing that she's picked up.
It sounds like it. It sounds like kind of an extreme version of a toddler compulsively sucking their thumb.
Yeah. She doesn't seem to be doing too much damage doing it, but still, I'd rather not if I can avoid it.
How old is she now?
2.
Okay.
So, from my understanding, beagles tend to remain in puppy mode for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, that's physically she's probably as big as she's going to get, but she might still not be mentally fully matured.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she might have another couple years before she's out of puppy mode. Even though she's, 2 years old.
Yep.
But yeah, she started that whole foot chewing thing almost as soon as I had gotten her, so it might have been even something that she had picked up even before I got her.
Yeah, Tria, you take excellent care of him. I think there would be very few people who would have put as much effort into a cat as you have. Most people would have given up on him years ago.
Yep. And Molly now wants belly rubs.
Sammy still can't decide whether or not he likes belly rubs.
Yeah, belly rubs are non-negotiable.
Sammy, some days he likes belly rubs, and some days he's going to shred my hand if I try it. Petunia is at least consistent. Petunia, if you touch the belly, you get at most 3 strokes, and then she'll bite you.
Molly has definitely decided that she loves belly rubs, and will just sit there, and seems to be one of her favorite ways of getting pet.
Well, Petunia was so badly broken when we got her, it took 3 years for her to get the idea that somebody reaching was going to pet her and not hit her. It took her 3-4 years just to get used to the idea that petting could be nice.
I don't get the impression that Molly was abused in any way. Maybe not quite trained as well as she should have been, but
yeah,
definitely not abused.
It's okay. I've got a lot of experience fixing broken kitties. I've taken in a lot of neglected and abused cats over the years.
Yeah. Well, I was looking for a dog. I was looking at one that was abused. I was considering. Apparently, he had been thrown out the car window as it was moving.
Yeah. Native, you're close. The problem is that humans have not been fully domesticated yet. The cats are fine where they are. They just haven't trained us yet. Oh, wow. Sammy is all stretched out, and I've seen him like this before, but it's still surprising to see that when he stretches out, he's longer than my entire leg.
Yeah, I remember seeing a comic strip where aliens show up and think the cats are the superior beings on the planet.
Well, that's the novel I'm writing. One of the main characters is an alien that they disguise themselves as cats so they can walk around among us without anybody paying attention to them.
I kind of wish I had a camera right now so you could see how Molly is, right? Let's see if I can get my phone here.
Yeah. I keep my camera unplugged most of the time. I've heard of too many software things that try to activate it without warning you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I gotta figure out if I've got enough energy to actually do something or if I need to take a nap. I know I didn't get much sleep, but I hate napping in the middle of the day.
I had pretty wonky sleep yesterday. Maybe a few hours of sleep at night. Then I slept during midday, eat for a few hours, and then I managed to get a few more hours of sleep as the sun came up this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're doing.
I got like an hour around midnight, and then I laid in bed there trying to fall asleep again and gave up after about an hour and got up again. And then I didn't get back to sleep until like 6 something. And then I got up for Diana's thing here, so
Well,
probably 3 to 4 hours sleep total.
well, there's the Zone Guard thing. You can just look it up for the cat version. Here's the cat version. Oh, it's currently unavailable, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's all right. I still had a stock of the frontline stuff that I had bought last fall that hadn't been used. Because over the winter we don't need to really put it on them.
Here's Zone Guard Plus. No, that's still unavailable.
Yeah, so actually at this point I've got enough of the front line to get them through until fall before I have to buy any more.
I know one way you can make that stuff last longer is to open up the bottles and put them in like a syringe, measure it out.
Oh, the stuff I buy is already in pre-measured packets for cats. Just to make sure that you don't accidentally overdose them.
Well, it's actually in a range. So like with the dog formula, it's for 23 to 44 pounds. And you actually don't, for a smaller dog, you actually don't need the full dose.
Yeah, I get what you mean there.
So a way you can save money is to actually open the package up, dump it into a syringe, and then measure out the actual exact dosage per pound. But I don't know, it seems like a lot of work.
Well, I would be prone to doing it with a smaller dog just because I would be worried about, giving them too much, that it could be harmful to them if they're getting like twice as much as they need for their size. Yeah, Tree, I know what you mean. I just feel like I spend so much time laying in bed, kind of in that half asleep state that I don't get anything done anymore. Oddly enough, when I had the accident with the van, I was not at all sleepy. That was actually my peak time for being awake. So that was not a factor in this case at all.
Yeah, that was just bad luck.
Yeah. Well, the state trooper said that they consider hitting a deer to be an act of God here.
That's good.
Yeah, so he didn't even bother to fill out, since there wasn't any other car involved, he didn't even fill out an accident report, which means at least my insurance won't go up for it.
Yeah, I think after all this, I'll maybe watch a few animes. Some time.
Yeah. Well, Sloth Girl's got the Amazon Prime and she's got the Brit box. So I've been watching a lot of old British sitcoms.
Yeah, I've been moving stuff from my computer to a little USB drive that I can plug into this new TV I got and watching stuff off of that.
Yep. Well, I've just got my computer plugged into my big TV, so that's nice for streaming that way. I can watch everything on the big screen.
Yeah. I also have, I can actually, I do have something where I can send in stuff from my computer to the TV, but it doesn't seem to work as well. They used to have another app on the Roku that worked a lot better, but they removed that app so they could have their own native app.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't work as well. fact, that reminds me, I wanted to check out the paid version of that app. See if that worked better. They have another
Yeah.
one that you have to pay like $5 to get though.
Yeah, actually, one of my biggest problems with building my new computer, is I wanted it, since I got hooked up to the TV, I wanted to be able to use it for a DVD player. And it was actually pretty hard to find a suitable case that still had an opening in the front for a front-loading disc player of any kind. Most of them now just have a solid front, and you can't put any kind of a drive in. I guess they figure everybody's just streaming stuff are going to have it all on a hard drive.
Play USB, that's the one I was looking at. The only thing, and it's only got 2.5 star rating. That's not that great. Then again, that's only have 2 or 3 options for USB apps on Roku now.
Yeah, I haven't dealt with Roku since I lived in New York, so I have no idea what its current state is.
They kind of dropped in quality. They had some issues with stuff, and bunch of apps pulled out, and they wanted to start being more native. There's actually one point where they almost lost YouTube.
Yeah, well, back when I had it, it was basically a little set-top box like the size of a DVD player.
Yeah, that's what I have on my older computers, or on my older TVs, and I just recently replaced one of my TVs with the Roku TVs, so it's all built in.
Okay, wait a moment.
All right. Yeah. So, well, I'm killing time here. Kind of wish Diana would get back here to end the stream. May end up having to just leave this thing running. So I'm starting to get kind of hungry. I gotta check on my bird pretty soon here. It's a sun conure. So, what else do we have here? Yeah, we may have to help Purple out with it, Van. We'll see how things go.
Okay. Yeah, that was my pharmacy calling me. Somebody had messed up on mailing one of my prescriptions, so they need to verify the address.
Yeah. That still reminds me, yet again, I have to go over to the vet and talk to the vet about maybe changing out the heart guard for Iverheart, and dropping that chewable flea and tick stuff that they wanted to give Molly for like $75 for a 3-month supply. That's a little expensive.
Yeah, I really like the front line that you just rub it into the back of their neck. That seems to have worked really well for all the animals I've used it on.
Well, Molly doesn't seem to mind it at all, so.
Even Petunia, she kind of fusses, but she didn't really fight me doing it anymore.
You have to admit, it's not quite as convenient as just giving her a little treat that she'll eat in half a second, but still.
Well, with a dog, that's easy. With a cat, getting them to swallow a pill can be a major ordeal.
Well, it's not a pill. It's like this little chewable thing.
Yeah.
That tastes good to them. So they don't even know. They think they're just getting a treat.
Yeah. Ginger Snap, my chow, was the easiest animal in the world to pill. Because if you just tossed it up in the air, she would grab it and swallow it before she had any clue what it was.
Yeah, so the heart guard and or Iverheart stuff is just it's a little chewable.
Yeah, I had to take off my headset while I was on the phone, so I missed a bit there, and I'm not sure what Trio was responding to. Saying something about the van.
No, I was just saying probably have to do a fundraiser for you or something, possibly. Keep that as an option.
Most likely I've got to get estimates first to find out how much it's going to be.
And Molly brought in her new chew toy that I got her. She really likes that one. I figured she would, seeing as it's shaped similar to one of her favorite toys.
Yeah. Okay, I'm surprised that Diana hasn't gotten back here yet.
Yeah. May have to just leave this thing going because I'm getting kind of hungry.
Yeah, same. I should probably go and find food. Yeah, as far as the van goes at this point, I'm waiting first on my brother's advice. And unfortunately, this weekend they're doing the big family reunion, so I'm probably not going to hear back from him until the middle of the week. And I'm, trying to find out if there's any place around here that's a reputable repair place that I can expect to give me a decent price without, screwing me over. But as I still don't know that many people in this city, I don't have a lot of people to ask for references. So, it reminds me. Okay, yeah. Okay, well, I guess we're just going to have to leave this here, and Diana's going to have to shut it down whenever she gets back.
Yep. All right.
She must have had a problem with the internet connection that she can't get back on right away.
Yeah. All right, well, see you guys later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Native, Trio, whoever else is still out there in the side chat.